Hello and welcome to WOR's Ironman Round 7. I am Scott Taylor here again. I'm buzzing for this. I'm ready for this. Tonight we have a new face joining us and it's Carl Paranik. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Thank you for having me, first and foremost. Not to reiterate what you said or anything, but I'm absolutely buzzing. I've even come with the Vaseline soft focus on my camera for today. Not exactly what I was intending, but we're going to have a good time tonight, rest assured.
I love that. I love that. We also have a new change to the stream tonight. We, for the first time, are bringing in a third person. We have Josh, who tonight is going to be all over giving us all the analysis from the streamer's point of view, including clips and etc. from that. Josh, welcome in. How are we?
I'm doing really well. Really looking forward to getting into everything and seeing kind of behind the scenes what the drivers are thinking as well, giving that extra bit of analysis.
Right, yeah, this is going to be banging. Right, new ground for tonight. Okay, if you were here last week, we had Miami, and it was effing amazing, right? It was great, okay? We had carnage, chaos, red flags, restarts, everything. Well, we not only had one banging race, we had two banging races, and we're going to see what we can do tonight. But we had some results from last week, and we have the standings. All right, Carl, can you take us through the drivers on this list and show us where we are?
I can indeed. So after a consistent week for Red Bull, you'll see things have shuffled about a little bit, but we have Luca Ripassa leading the standings. And that's great for him because he hasn't won a race so far this Ironman season. Only got two more opportunities to do it, though. Otis Lawrence in second, though, hot on his heels. Leo Lund in P3 for Ferrari with Jarno Opmeer, last week's race winner, in fourth place. Brendan Lee P5, Istvan Pukki in sixth place, Duncan Hoffland seventh, Ismail Fassi moved up to eighth, Bench Zabokonyi in ninth, with Andre Molnar rounding out the top 10. That's only half the story though, Scott. What are the constructors like?
Yes, so because Luca and Jarno have been doing absolutely amazing, Red Bull have taken the top spot for tonight, all right, and by quite a chunk as well. We can't count out Ferrari yet because we have two drivers, obviously. If they have a bit of bad luck, Ferrari could be straight back in this, but Leo Lund and Ismail Fassi doing very well as well. Alpine with Otis and Andre doing quite well as well in third place, and then jumping back a little to Aston Martin in fourth place. Then we have Kicks, nice to see Kick in fifth place as well. I do like that, especially above Mercedes, very interesting. V-Carb, McLaren, Haas and Williams see out the rest of that, who have, let's say, they've not had the best season so far, but one result can do good work for you, and you know what, it might just give the confidence moving on to the next season. Shall we take a look at who's racing for us tonight? Okay, I'll take the first names and I'll leave you with the bottom 10 names. So we have Cameron Dowd, reserving in first place for us, with Zalan Bieder, one of our reserves in P2 as well. Dennis Langrock, I've not seen him, I don't think, this season. I'm hoping for good things from him, starting in third. We have Stephen Vassell, last week had a decent enough race. In fifth place, Riard Sprogus as well, reserving as well. When he's been fast, but he sometimes gets into a little bit of trouble. Belint Elikas, fast driver as well, number 6. Yoni Tormela, we all know Yoni, amazing to see him here in P7. Then for 8th, we have Julian Klaffenbach, which is one of the best names in league racing, I would think. Thomas Kokine in 9th, and Jan Halliday in P10.
Perfect. Moving on to the 6th row of the grid, we have Tom Roberts in the Ferrari alongside Gabor Santos in the McLaren. It's an all Aston Martin, a lean green machine, 7th row with Jack West and Duncan Hoffland flying that flag. Istvan Pukki P15 with Brendan Lee in 16th. Jarno Opmeer, Miami's Marvel. He's going to try and win again, but he does it from 17th this time on the grid. Leo Lund in 18th, and our last row of the grid, Otis Lawrence and championship leader Luca Ripassa. That's an interesting lineup, you know, and Red Bull, like you say, Scott, one result can really swing things today, but Red Bull are going to have a little bit of a hard time potentially if they can't make those moves early on, properly instating that constructors lead as we see out these last two races.
Yeah, you're right. We love this. It is reverse championship grid order, so we just love to put the fast guys at the back and make them every week do this challenge. Last week, Jarno done it. It's been a little bit of a struggle for some of the drivers tonight, depending on the track. So, shall we look at the tracks that are available? There's not many left. We're near the end of the season, guys. We could be going to Bahrain. We could be going to Texas, Brazil, Mexico, China, or Japan. 6 tracks there. Carl, if you had to choose one, what would you be going to?
Interesting question. I think, honestly, I'm feeling like a Bahrain or Brazil. It's a good day for a track starting with the letter B, I think. Either one of those two tracks, I'd be very happy with. Don't discount out Texas or Mexico. And before I get completely cancelled from WOR, no, it's not a vendetta. Just China and Japan don't really enthuse me on F125. But I could be wrong. Maybe they'll spring a surprise in their own right. Scott, what would you like to see tonight, though?
Fair. For me, it's Mexico or China. I think we just need to help these drivers with the long DRS straight just to get things moving and shaking in case they're struggling to overtake. And I think those two tracks could probably give out quite a good era of that. Okay, let's go on. This starts very soon, guys. Season 21. All the big names are here. It is WR Tier 1 PC. Look at that calendar and you cannot lie to me, that looks quite cool, doesn't it? From the start of August till the end of November, we will be doing 14 rounds of, I am going to argue, some of the best league racing that we're going to see in this entire game cycle. So please make sure you get tuned in. Austria, August the 3rd to start off that season. Ron Haar, Otmir, Lawrence. I don't even know who's going to be there, but you assume they're going to have the best names that they can, and I cannot wait for it. Let's get all of us back up on the screen. Josh, what are your thoughts going into tonight? And make sure you unmute yourself. Carl, what's your thoughts for tonight? Yes, let's go.
Be an interesting spectacle. I think as it always is in the Ironman League, it's going to be an interesting one. We've removed tracks that will heighten some drivers' blood pressure, you'll be pleased to know. And we've got tracks that lend themselves to really good racing. We've got tracks with so much width like China and Bahrain where those massive cars can be put to good use. You really can go for moves. We've got historic venues. We've got the Brazilian Grand Prix as well. So I think whatever track we get today, I'm up for the ride, honestly. It's going to be a nice evening.
Awesome. Josh, what are you thinking?
Well, it's not a true clip book without me forgetting to unmute my mic. Of course, once we do know the track, it will definitely be interesting to see. But yeah, it should be a really exciting race, as we have seen many times. With the drivers fighting their way through, you never really know what you're going to get.
Yeah, not fair play. It's definitely been a weird season for Ironman. It's been a learning curve for some of these drivers. When they have a track that's very hard to overtake, it has been a little bit of a fight throughout the start. What Ironman have changed, they changed it last round and it was a massive success. We don't know to the extent yet because it was just one race, so they are continuing this rule. It will be nothing but dry weather tonight. Okay, a lot of feedback from the drivers was saying that it was hard enough to overtake in the dry, but the moment we had these changing conditions, that there was just nothing that they could do. The common complaint that we're getting, just so you can get a bit of knowledge into what the drivers are saying, is that when they're getting to that very close distance, let's say 3 or 4 tenths behind the driver, because of the combination of the dirty air and the lack of slipstream, they just can't seem to get that push unless they are roughly like a second a lap quicker than that driver on average pace. Carl, have you seen this before in F125? Have you heard this get mentioned before?
Yes, and I mean, we've heard a lot of pros talking about it in terms of that the slipstream and dirty air is 1-to-1. In terms of if you are distant, the slipstream doesn't have that strong of an effect. It seems more of a constant line as opposed to this linear growth as you get closer and closer to the car in front. You do get that slingshot in the slipstream and that sumptuous speed to propel yourself along. That's been the big talking point so far. I think personally, dirty air is a really welcome addition. You've got to really work to stay in that DRS range, in that slipstream range of the car ahead. But there's just a few things that still need tweaking. We're at a decent point, but we need that extra push now to get it to that really good point going forward.
Yeah, it makes sense. Josh, is this something you've came across as well? What's your thoughts to it? I think it's been an amazing thing having dirty air because at least they're trying to sort of kind of replicate some of the sort of real life F1 stuff that sometimes the game doesn't pick up.
Yeah, I think the dirty air definitely has improved the racing. You know, we haven't got 10 cars within a second of each other as we saw on the last game, but also it has kind of really shifted the dynamic. Maybe it just takes a bit more adjusting for us to get used to it, but it probably does need a little more balancing just to get it right into that sweet spot.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. All right, so we're in the lobby at this minute in time. The drivers are pretty much there. We're going to be waiting for the track. This is always what they do to us. They always just keep us going until the last minute before we know what the track is. I walked away last week, guys. I had Nathan with me, right? He was in the booth with me, and we walked away from last week just going, Oh, what a great race. And it was nice to see that. For Ironman, the racing's been so good, but it's been the reverse grids was almost sometimes worthless in the early starts of this season. You'd seen some of the best drivers in the world struggle to even get into top 10 results. And there was a little bit of an air going around, you know, oh, what's going to happen with F125? Oh, is league racing dead? Yada, yada, yada. Last week just showed that, see, when you've just got drivers that are ready to get their elbows out a little, like, oh my god, it felt like we had 20 Verstappens on the track. And I know some of the comments maybe on YouTube, you all want the most boring league racing possible, and I commend your opinion. I disagree with that. I want to see chaos. I want to see cars burning. That's just the way I go. But we got to see that last week. So we had a lobby bug that happens once the safety car came out. You might have seen it before in your life. One of the drivers just got jumped like 2 minutes up into the lead, and he was having a great time. But that made us do 250% races, which was, I would argue, was quite fun. It kept everyone sort of kind of closer. It was like just fighting. Is what I need to say is, for new people coming in, just so we can go through what this is Ironman League, okay? So this is 100% race with no qualifying, all right? So it's reverse championship grid, what you saw in the order. And this is it, 100% race, no chance for qualifying. Have you ever seen this type of thing done, Carl? And what's your thoughts about qualifying? Do you think this is going to be quite cool? It's a mystery track, right? It usually creates a bit of spice because they're not warmed up.
Yeah, I honestly like it. You know, they have a lot of elements to tackle in normal league racing as it stands, but they've got another element to deal with, and that's the element of surprise. And that's what they have to deal with every week in terms of the track choice, in terms of the grid lineup. There's those little bits and pieces that combine together into this wonderful jigsaw. So it's something for everyone to look forward to. It's going to be interesting to see, no matter what track we're at today, and we've alluded to it already tonight, in terms of how the esports drivers try and navigate up the field as quickly as possible, those in the fight for the championship, making the most at starting in that compromised position, and whether the guys at the front can hold their own with that dirty air assisting them. Like I say, it's all come together really nicely. Whatever track we have tonight, make sure your eyes are glued to the screen.
Yes, I love it. And Josh on Yarno Cam. No, I'm joking. It'll be more other things, but we all know that's what we're looking for. What are you going into it? So, like, I've done this, like, you've done this role before. Carl, you've maybe done this role as well over in Creator Series, I think. We've all had a shot at this sort of clipbook role. And basically what we found is that having that third person to sort of dig right into the streamer's streams. So it's not only going to be like clips and stuff that Josh will be giving us, but what he'll be able to do is give us some like actual indication onto maybe emotions and stuff, right, throughout the stream, how the streamer's actually doing it. Is he getting raging? You know, is he 5 laps away from a rage quit? Me and Nathan, we've been having a little bet on how many the people rage quit, to be fair, every lap and every race, sorry, and we've been kind of close. So we're just going to put it out tonight again for us. I am going to say that we're going to have four drivers rage quit tonight by retirement in the pit lane. Carl and Josh, what are your thoughts?
Josh, I'll throw the gauntlet to you first. What do you think?
Well, annoyingly, I was actually going to say 4 as well. I feel like that's like a nice sweet spot for where it's going to be. But I'll say we're going to have a very great race today. We're only going to have 2.
Nice. Carl?
If in doubt, middle it out. I think we're going to get a really nice track today. I'm going to say 3.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so there you go, guys. Let us know in the chat what you think is going to go on. It's depending on the track. Some of these guys, when they're 75% in a race and down in 10th, 12th place, you almost ask, what's the point? I would argue, though, you never know when a safety car is going to come, and it can really change everything, all right? It helped Adam Sanderson the other week get a podium or something in Creator Series. So if he can do that, then anything is possible. I repeat, anything is possible, okay? Still don't know how he frauded that. But yeah, you never know, never quit, because you never know what's going to happen. I'm going to take a wee look at the track and see if we've been updated yet. We have not. We have all the drivers, and we all are pretty much ready to go in the next few minutes. Let's go back and just take a look at what tracks that it could have been tonight for people that maybe just coming in that didn't see what it is. This is the possible tracks that it can be. So it is Bahrain. We could be going to Texas. We could be going to Brazil, Mexico, China, or Japan. as far as I'm led to believe, it has been in the Hungarian stream. Everyone votes for the one track that they don't want, and then it becomes a random search from the ones that are left, which led us to getting Miami last week, which is honestly, I can't get over it. I'm sorry, I know I'm repeating myself, but it was such a banging race. If you've not seen it and you need a good 2 hours of entertainment, go back to last week's Miami and just give it a little go. It was crazy. We just had everyone just sending it at every DRS corner. And that's what I'm kind of here for, right? Sometimes you just kind of need to get your elbows out. The damage model, I don't know about you guys. Josh, let's see what you think about this. See, the damage model, I feel like people can get a lot closer now without ruining their race. They can really barge into each other.
Yeah, I've kind of seen this progressing game after game. It feels like it's just getting more and more. You can kind of just bump into people and you don't get that much damage. A couple of games ago, you hit someone and they'd be picking up quite a big chunk of wing damage, whereas now it's almost kind of weakened. Like the standard damage now is like the previous sim damage or something like that. It feels like we've kind of taken a step back with the damage model. It does allow the closer racing, but it also allows you to go a bit over the limit.
Yeah, Carl, what are you thinking?
So I'm quite torn on this, to be honest with you, because, I mean, like you say, it endears people into doing closer racing. Make no mistake about that. That's always a good thing. We love closer racing, whatever league racing series you tend to watch. But at the same time, I mean, you know, you end up at potentially a stage where people have to do a bit of bumper cars to get the overtake done, or at least initiate some form of contact in order to instate themselves in a particular front of battle. And I don't know how I sit with that, truth be told, but and Stevens made a good point, actually, not about the contact model, but he said, remind Jake Benham about his breaking point. But look, completely off topic, but that was personally my favourite moment of last week, because it was, to quote Top Gear, it was ambitious but rubbish.
Yeah, I don't know if you see that, Josh, but yeah, last lap, Jake Benham with like 23 seconds of penalties. Jarno in first. I think we had Otis in third as well. Final corner on the final lap, just absolutely sends it. Missed his breaking point by a mile, and he was gone. And do you know what? I love it, because that moment honestly sums up the kind of racing that I'm here for. It just shows we're all having a bit of fun. And sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for serious hardcore racing. I would argue Ironman is, we try and find the best of both. You know, it's like hard racing, but at the same time, we're here for a laugh, and we're here just to sort of try some things and just have a bit of fun. And Josh, I think that's what you're going to see tonight. I think you're going to see some of the streamers just kind of go, do you know what? I'm not letting this one go. Why would I?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's not really going to change the world if they finish first, second, 10th or 20th. They can just have a bit of fun, go out there, have a nice race, and get themselves potentially a decent result and a very good fight along the way.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we are pretty much there, guys. Let us know in the chat, what are you hoping for tonight? Are you a Yarno fan? Do you think he's going to take it? Or are you an Otis fan? I've seemed to see a bit of division recently in the audience when it comes to these two drivers. People saying that maybe Otis isn't the cleanest driver, which, to be fair, I've not really seen. I probably would disagree a little bit with that, but I'm definitely seeing a little bit of a rift in this lobby between the Yarno fans and the Otis Lawrence fans. What are you thinking, Carl?
Well, the Yarno fans are out in force so far. I've seen, in terms of names being mentioned, he's dominated the list. Welcome in, everybody, no matter who you support, by the way. It's great to have you along for what is going to be an excellent evening and a sensational spectacle, no matter where we go. But their job today is to get up that field as quickly as possible, and it all starts on lap number 1. Of course, no qualifying. The first lap they will have in anger on whatever track we choose tonight is that first lap scramble. So they've got to just keep themselves out of trouble, not get damage, and then go from there. Otis is opportunistic, but he does like to use that contact model a bit. Yarno, bit of a smooth operator when it comes to overtaking. Both, though, are just alien-like in their own right. They're stupidly quick, so fair play to them.
All right, okay, Josh, now we're going to ask you this one, all right? I'm going to get the starting grid up. I'm going to bring it up on the screen for you so that you see it. I want you to tell me who is going to win this race. So hopefully you can see that now. Who is winning this race?
I mean, it's such a tough one to call, really. Like, all of them realistically could be in with a shot. I feel like, looking at last week's performance, though, you've got to say Yarno. He's got the form. He's got the backing. I think he's probably the most likely one if you had to pick anybody.
All right, and Carl, who are you thinking?
Oof. I'm going to throw, you know what? Nathan mentioned his name last week. Didn't quite materialise. But you know what? I'll throw his hat into the ring. Julian Klaffenbach. A great name to say. And you know what? I think he's got it in him today. I think he's got a chance of really fighting at the front and potentially taking the win.
You took my name. I was literally going to say Julian. But, okay, great minds think alike. Okay, I will go away. You can have Julian. But yes, for the record, he's been doing really good recently the last couple of weeks. He's been starting sort of mid and he's been getting up to the top. So I'd lovely to see that. I am going to say that, do you know what? Duncan Hofland's had a couple of bad runs. But see, when he's on fire, I would argue, is one of the quickest easily in this lobby. So I think we're going to go with Duncan Hofland today. Chat, let us know what you're thinking. Is it going to be Yarno? Look at Rapasa, like, don't count him out as well. He starts last for a reason, and that's because he has the most points in the season. So he is your championship leader, even though you could maybe argue he's maybe the second person on the Red Bull team. But he is showing that he is leading that championship, which is quite cool, Carl. This is part of the start of the season where some of the really fast esport guys at the back were struggling to get up the top.
Of course, for sure, for sure. And I think what this season has also proved to us, in terms of, at the moment at least, in the state the game's in, it's proved what tracks do work for league racing, what tracks maybe kind of fall by the wayside. But, ladies and gentlemen, we've just seen the track for tonight. And Scott, do you want to tell them or shall I?
You go for it. Enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading to the Circuit of the Americas for a 100% race. Penultimate round of the championship, we go to the US of A. You know what? I think that's quite a decent track choice.
Yeah. Jane, you know what? Yeah, like we've got long straights to help facilitate the overtaking, but we've also got some extremely slow corners that people are just going to absolutely send it. Like that's end of Sector 2, start of Sector 3 area is just going to be mad. Josh, what are you thinking about Texas?
I mean, it should be a really exciting one. Hopefully the dirty air isn't too bad in that first and third sector. But yeah, we should be getting a lot of overtaking action, long straights up towards turn 1 and in towards turn 12 as well. So yeah, should be a really exciting one.
I love it. I love it. We're all pretty much ready to go here, guys. Let us know your thoughts. Also, make sure you're sharing this to all your friends. WOR Ironman. We have so much fun here. This is our second last round. It's been an honor so far to bring this to you for the sort of one of the first major sort of league racings on F125. It's been a massive learning curve for us all, and I think we're having a lot of fun. I think you will agree. So yes, we are just about to go into the lobby, and then we're going to go. So yeah, Texas, there's going to be a safety car. There's got to be. Someone's going to go for it in Sector 1. Most likely just after the super long DRS straight, that sort of left-right-hander. I think we're going to see some carnage there. We're going to see some spin-outs. We have Jack West in the lobby, which means we're going to have some carnage. All jokes aside, Jack, you're an amazing driver. I'm just poking a bit of fun. But yes, Jack West, he gets his elbows out. It's one of those drivers that no matter who is facing him, he will not change, and I respect that. You get some people that shy away when the big names are next to them, and then you get some names that just go for the car.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I think, like you say, I think we will say a safety car. What will be most interesting of all is that run down to turn 1. The only corner on the Circuit of the Americas, as far as I'm aware, don't quote me, that actually has a name. It's called Big Red.
Oh.
And the rest of them don't really have a name. It's just numbers after that. So that makes life a lot easier for us because we can just name numbers, and that's fine. But that turn 1's going to be very interesting. You might just see someone be a bit overambitious, send it to the inside, do a little bit of a George Russell in 2022, slightly harpooning the side pod. But we shall soon find out. It's all in the air of mystery.
I love it. So we're going to load into the lobby. Josh, we'll see you soon. Let me know when you have anything, and we are going to get some cool analysis from yourself. All right, Carl, here we go. We're waiting into the lobby. We're seeing all the digital men that the game put in. I never notice when I play this game. I just play this game, but they're there. All right, looking nice and dry. Remember, guys, it's going to be dry weather tonight. Oh, any last thoughts, Carl, while you're putting on your setups? Like, what? I just love this track. Like, I hate racing this track, but I love watching this track.
Oh, me too. And I think in terms of real life, this is one of Tilke's triumphs in terms of circuits he's created. He's had his critics. He's come under a lot of scrutiny with some of his designs. Make no mistake about that. But this is one of his triumphs, in my opinion. The fact he had to move the earth beneath it in order to carve out the track is just excellent. It's an absolute triumph through and through. And I'm seriously looking forward to the racing. We have 5 red lights. to the US Grand Prix. Apparently, Istvan did the wrong weather. So lights out and away we go. And Jack West has got a penalty and he's straight into the wall. Down towards turn 1 we go. Is it going to be absolute anarchy on Earth? Yes, Tom Roberts has gone, Yana, what? Oh, it's absolute carnage in the Ironman League. My first lease of life in this 100% division, and 4 drivers have already fallen by the wayside. The championship leader with a drive-through penalty, as so many of them laid to rest at the exit of Big Red, and now they will saunter home. It's an absolute disaster as Alpine line astern. It's a demolition derby here in Texas, and I think that concludes what has been a chaotic and carnage-filled Ironman League Attempt 1.
Welcome back, Josh. How you doing? Yeah, that was probably the quickest race we've ever had, guys. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, Istvan set the wrong weather, and we will be doing a lobby restart. I think we we could tell that that was happening. So we'll get that as quick as we can. Let's blame Istvan Puke. Nah, that's quite funny, to be honest. that was a proper creator series. We had a creator series moment there. That was good.
Oh, love it. You've got to absolutely love it. As we're looking at the podium, a kick Sauber's won. Unbelievable.
Hey, amazing.
If that happens later, Scott, you're going to be in tears, I think. This is you can't write scripts better than this.
I am
Fantastic.
kicked. I am kicked through and through, guys, okay? Kick for life. It's the car I'll drive. It was also the first race I went was Silverstone a couple of weeks ago. That was my first F1 race. And Nico Hülkenberg got the podium. Mate, I was kick daft for life now. So yeah, no, definitely. We'll get back in and as quick as we can. So, did you get any insights, Josh?
Well, there wasn't really too much to see, to be honest. I mean, we can probably have a look back and see, just looking at the strategy, quite a few drivers starting on the hard tyres, but there was quite a mix, to be honest. But no, I think it's definitely going to be an interesting race. And as we saw, that run to turn 1 can be quite chaotic.
Yeah, just a little, right? I love that. No, it's definitely. It was also, I think back to Texas, I get many memories about Texas. That was one of the first races that I ever watched when I got into F1. It must have been maybe 3 years ago. I remember it was Carlos Sainz got pole, and this was like my first race I was watching. I was like, yes, go Sainz. And then George Russell on turn 1, lap 1, just came absolutely sending it down the inside, took him out the race, and then that was my first ever experience, and I was just like, it took me a few years to get over the George Russell thing. Honestly, it did. Carl, if you go back to like what got you into F1, why are you here? What journey led to you being here?
Journey led to me being here. Oh,
that's
gosh,
a deep question, right?
You got my mind racking here, honestly. Say that again. What in terms of?
Yeah, like what got you into F1? What started this road to you, like just becoming something in your life that was like, this is what I do now? And then obviously you're very fast on the wheel, but what's also led you into this sort of commentary side as well? Like, what got you here?
Well, God, I've racked the memory back for that one. So it would have been, I started watching F1. This would have been 2004. I would have started watching it as but a little small child. With the towards the twilight of the V10 era, with Alonso, Schumacher, Montoya, Raikkonen, and everyone else on top of that. And since then, I've never looked back. It's been a wonderful journey, and commentary sort of happened from there in terms of listening to. It was James Allen I grew up with, but then going back through the archives, listening to Murray Walker, and all of the iconic lines we've had besides, and it was energetic. It was a way to bring the broadcast even further to life, no matter what stage of F1 or the motorsport ladder you're at. So since then, it's been an interest of mine, and it's been incredible to get into this journey. From however many years ago I started doing commentary on the Formula One games, it's been a fun ride.
I love that. Josh, you've had a little minute to get your thoughts together. You know I'm coming to you next. What got you here? What got you into F1?
Yeah, I mean, I probably started watching F1 around the early 2010s. I probably didn't really remember that much. The first memories I really have are the start of the turbo hybrid era, 2014, 2015, that sort of time. Pretty much been a diehard fan ever since. I basically watch every single race. Like if I miss a race, it's kind of week ruined. But yeah, commentary wise, it was kind of an accident. I never planned to get into commentary. It was never like an interest of mine. Obviously, I enjoyed listening to the commentary. But just one of my friends, I didn't have a commentator one week for their league and asked if I wanted to try it. Tried it then and kind of just took off from there. Loved it ever since. And yeah, now here I am.
I love that. Chat, what got you into F1? What tickles your pickle when it comes to this amazing sport that we call Formula One? Let us know where we get this lobby restarted. I think sometimes we can forget and get caught up in sort of angry emotions and stuff in racing, but see if you just sort of take a step back sometimes and just chill and just look at it from afar. Like, league racing's amazing, right? We get people actually sending it to the physical limit, right? Obviously in real life, it's insanely dangerous. It's fast. It's everyone. We try and keep the cars away from each other. When it comes to virtual racing, like, no one's going to get hurt unless you're that guy Vince in a race where the wheel malfunctions and dislocates a bone. Unless you're him, like, you're not really going to get hurt, to be honest, and you're going to just be able to go to the absolute limit. Like, I seen a car get flipped last week, right? Get flipped, and everyone was fine. It was amazing. And some guy told me not to laugh about it. Sorry, I couldn't let that one go. Yeah, Carl, what's your thoughts to that ramble that I just went on?
Well, I think, you know, like you say, no one's going to get hurt unless you have the skeletal structure of an ant. But, you know, it's great. It's great fun. And, you know, I look at these fans on the screen right now, and honestly, how are they so excited? The cars aren't even moving yet. Like, what?
Yeah.
If they're that excited now, they're gonna have fallen over, fainted by the time they get the 5 red lights underway. But we are actually back this time. The weather is set.
I think so. I'm just going to double check. I think we are back. Let me just get everything up ready and normal. Yes, I think we're good, guys. Yeah, so we'll be there in a minute. Carl, Josh, we'll come back to you in a moment's notice when you've got some information. Yes, okay, we're ready for the second time tonight. Let's see, hopefully the last and final race start we have, unless we get another lobby glitch in a 50% race. Carl, you've had 20, 30 minutes now to get yourself psyched and ready for this. When they start, we're going to have you take us away through a lap of Kota. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. I can't wait for this. I'm buzzing, mate.
I concur. I absolutely concur. Get ready for what is going to be a rampant roller coaster ride. In the US of A, we had stop 1 last time out. Stop 2, it's Texas. It's the circuit of the Americas. Let us know who you think is going to win. Final predictions in. Cash in those checks because, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a sensational spectacle as they make their way through to turn 1.
You've got some
like
vocabulary here. I'm just saying. Okay, on you go, mate.
I do my best. 5 red lights in tremendous Texas. Kick Sauber on the left, V-Carb on the right. It's lights out and away we go. Ryan Grob gets a decent start against Cameron Dowles, but the second phase is absolutely scorching. Phasing through, Ryan Grob to try and take the lead. It's the V-Carb driver, but Ryan Grob finds that psychological boost and retains the lead for now as they make their way through the Maggots and Beckett's imitation. Contact, though, between Gabor, Santos and an Aston Martin was off by the wayside as they rejoin the track at the right-hander to the inside when Otis Lawrence put a rapid start from the Flying Dutchman, Jarno Opmeer, already up to 14th place.
Yeah, okay, let's take a little look at what just happened there. So yeah, we've got Jarno, Otis, and Luca. They are up 3 spots each. Duncan going up to 4th spot right now. On fire so far. Let's look at the intensity in his eyes. Coming down the super long DRS straight, already up 4. But Joni Tormala already down 12 spots. Unfortunate.
Not the ideal start for the American dream as down the inside goes the Alpine. That's Jan Halliday trying to make moves on the Mercedes car. Still side by side as they head through the right-hander. Remaining line astern, but it's Duncan Hoffland now who has the marvellous momentum to take not just 1 spot, but to dive down the inside as well of the Alpine man. And through goes Duncan into 8th place. Fantastic piece of opportunism. Jack Westow finding significant struggles, a snap of oversteer, and now he's caught in combat with Otis Lawrence. Takes to the escape to make sure there's no possible contact and damage, but they complete lap 1. Ryan Grob retains the lead. Cameron Dowds looking to be in hot pursuit as DRS is enabled on this lap. Here comes Jack Westow. Run back the rhythm. It's round 2 versus Otis Lawrence down the inside at turn number 1. Side pod scrubbing them, and again, a snap of oversteer with Luca Repassa behind with a bucket of popcorn waiting to feed off the scraps of battle.
Yeah, banging, right? Okay, we got some good racing already. Okay, on to Otis Lawrence in 14th now, already up quite a few spots. But Jarno and Duncan are your ones to watch. Let's jump on board to Jarno. See him staring down Balint Ellicus. He's just a few tenths off. Is there anything that he can do? Actually, Duncan Hofflin looks to be even closer to the back of Stevens. Right, let's get Duncan up on our screen, and we'll just watch him do this for himself. All right. Getting the meds, getting the battery up. It looks like Dennis has just went into third place up in front. Is he going to make the send? He is going to make the send. Gets it stopped. Oh, a little bit on the touchy side. Did slow the car down, and now we'll have an opportunity to complete the move.
Trying to. He's looking to try and go down the inside. The Vikov tries to cover it, but he hasn't covered it enough. Duncan Hoffman steams on through in the green machine to take P7. The first attempt was a bit of a half-hearted lunge, but not the second time round. That was calculated and cool as you like, as again, Jack West getting caught on the outside line, and there's not enough grip there to support that slingshot. Otis Lawrence goes through again as Jan Halliday gets through into P8 onto lap number 3. Ryan Grobb still holds that lead, albeit with one dose of DRS for Cameron Dowd, but so many laps left to go to settle the score, as darting out to try and defend was Jack West. Here's the Williams car making a move on Tamas Cockney towards the Maggots Beckett's imitation, and the Williams driver says thank you kindly. That's P5 on the road. Gotta be careful though, he's just got himself out of DRS range.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, as things are going to settle down slightly, we do have a clip of the crash that happened in lap 1. So we're going to bring Josh into this for now, and let's see how well this works. Josh, you are on screen. Let us know.
Yeah, well, a bit of an incident on the opening lap here. I haven't even noticed that. Those cars phasing up ahead on top of each other. But as we made our way in towards the S's just in front of us, the McLaren there of Gabor, a bit of a crash there with Jack West and a Haas as well. Yoni Turmula getting involved as well. Just a couple cars. Not the greatest of starts for them here tonight.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Josh. We'll bring you back in a bit soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the type of analysis that Josh will be giving us throughout the stream. Very handy. Getting back onto Jack West and Luca Rapassa. They're going for it. They're not letting it go. This sector is sometimes amazing to watch. As Belin Elikas in front as well, and Jarno getting very close together.
Absolutely. Jarno Opmeer looking for more moves, up to P10 now from 17th on the grid. He's absolutely flying, as is Duncan Hoffland. The perfect possible starts for the two of them, but the hard work very much continues. Now, Cameron Dowds with the lead of this race has made the move on Ryan Grobb. Expect many DRS swapperoos to continue transpiring as this race unfolds. Dennis in the Haas, though, not too far behind. Got Richard Sprogis up to P4. That second Williams car was in P5, has been caught by Tamas Cockney, and Duncan Hoffland has moved up to P6 in all of these shenanigans. Istvan Pukki has got past the V-Carb man. He's on his way as well. Got his teammate just up the road because Jarno Opmeer has moved up to P9. Through goes Otis Lawrence, though, at the left-hander. The door was left open. He carried such sensational speed and easily carved his way through into P12. A good start from him as well so far, as Jack West dives it down the inside again, not without contact, as he tries to squeeze the V-Carb onto the uncomfortable part of the track. It's now a DRS drag race all the way down the straight. Maximum flappage. Who wants to use the most battery? More argy-bargy on the side pods. Jack West has that inside line, still remaining in combat, as they both go off the track, and Luca Rapassa now might have the chance against the V-Carb man here, Scott.
Yeah, this is great. I'm loving it. Constant action. Also got a battle for 7th with Zalan as well, but staying with Luca Rapassa and Steven right now. Jack West into 13th, Otis into 14th. Let's go back up though. Zalan and Jan getting very close there, although Zalan I think has to back off right now. Cameron Dowds nearly has actually pretty much broken DRS. One more lap like this and he will be flying away. So yeah, Duncan Hoffland, let's just jump on board to him for a second. Like, he is absolutely killing it as well. He's into 6th place by lap 5. I've got a funny feeling we're getting one of these races where all the pros are going to get up to the top and they're going to fight it out.
You can feel it in the air tonight, not to quote Phil Collins, but that's what I've done. You certainly can, though. Keep your eye on Jarno Opmeer as well. Zalan in the Williams was really, really struggling. And so DRS, we have no doubt, will assist the Flying Dutchman well on his way. Cameron Dowds, though, like you say, has got searing pace at the moment, although Ryan Grobb garnering up a slight response on this lap, keeping firmly within DRS range. It's actually Dennis in the Haas that has something to worry about as we look at Jarno Opmeer just biding his time, playing it patient. It's so easy to want to get the move done, to reassert yourself up the order, but you just end up maybe compromising your own race as well as everybody else's, dislodging the trains, uncoupling yourself from the car ahead. Jarno Opmeer burning the battery all the way down, but equally, so is the Williams car. So showing it to the outside to take the optimal racing line, perhaps setting himself up for a chance into the double right-hander, using much more of the track as Zalan takes a defensive stance all the way through, right to the outside, goes Jarno Opmeer, a chance for a sumptuous switchback. You saw it, read all about it, telegraph from early, he's holding it round the outside, wasn't much grip there for Jack West, but Jarno Opmeer has no such problems, ascending up to P8.
Yes, indeed. And talking about Jarno, we have a little clip of an overtake from him. We're just going to bring it up on the small screen for you. Josh, take us away with this one. Alright, so as we can see, we're on board with Jarno. Coming round into the Sector 2 section. Let's see what he can do there. Looking good right there. A couple of cars fighting, which means he will get that opportunity to go around, getting on that inside line, taking advantage of the cars, messing about, and there you go. It's going to be as easy as this. Keeps it going the whole way around and gets it done. Very nice, Josh. Thank you very much. All right, go back to the race. Let's see where we are, Carl. So, yeah, first place, second place, roughly about that 9-10 second area, right? It's getting a little bit spicy for them.
It is indeed. Ryan Grob actually just dropping outside our second window. Otis Lawrence, though, impatience possibly growing, but he's gone down the inside of the Mercedes man up into the top 10. Goes the man chasing the championship, the Alpine ace, looking for constant ascension. Duncan Hoffland, though, he's on a charge of his own, up to P4. Goes the Aston Martin driver, and Scott, your prediction is playing out handsomely. Duncan Hoffland on an absolute tear at the moment in Texas.
Yeah, he is absolutely killing it. I love to see it as Ryan really has dropped the DRS now. Let's go up down to East Van Puke and Balint Elikis getting a little bit spicy as well. Teammates, was that just an easy overtake that was let happen by teammates, or did he absolutely send it? Luca Rapassa can never back down from Luca Rapassa. He will send it if he gets a moment notice. And he is our championship leader, so he's going to have to start making the moves. Leo Lund and Brendan Lee, a little bit of a slow start, but let's look at the winners and losers so far of the race car. As you can see the numbers there, that's quite mad, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's two sides of the same coin, but with very, very differing prospects. If you're on the good side, if you have the rub of the green, you are absolutely loving life. If your name's a Jarno Opmeer, a Duncan Hoffland, an Otis Lawrence, you are simply soaring up the field. But for others like Joni Tormela, towards the back of the field, it's the sinking feeling through and through. Luca Rapassa, though, not only will he not back down from a fight, he can't seem to unglue himself from Jack West. He's still in front of the championship leader, hasn't been able to find an avenue past the Aston Martin driver. Another chance as they go down the straight, but it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment. All of them saving their battery in equal amounts. Jarno Opmeer, though, no need. He's got time to kill and battery to burn. Through into P7, and let's see what the clear air pace is like from Miami's race winner.
It's going to have to be good, because look at that gap. I didn't see that happen. Like, there must have just been a bit too much fighting, but that's 3 seconds now. He's lost that front train. Cameron Dowds is flying away with us at the minute, by the way, 1.7 seconds. But yeah, Jarno, let's keep an eye, right? Remember this, guys. Lap 7, Jarno 3 seconds behind Thomas. Let's jump back in a few laps, and we'll see what that time difference is like.
Absolutely. The glory of chronology, ladies and gentlemen, as we see one of the star boys again, Duncan Hoffland, looking to put Dennis in a worse mood as he looks left and tries to find an avenue through just to show in the mirrors, hello, I'm right here. Don't you get any ideas. If you leave a gap open, I'm absolutely going to sail my way on through. Nothing doing into Big Red, though, and through we go into turn number 2. There's actually a disconnect for Steven Vasso. He's managed to get back in, but look how much time he's lost. As a result, so many drivers has fallen foul to internet issues or technical difficulties, and in a heartbeat, you can be right in the thick of it, and then with that disconnect, it's the most horrible feeling, because you're helpless. There's nothing you can do about it. He finds himself 9.5 seconds off of the pack in front.
Yeah, definitely. He's all starting to settle down a little bit, but Otis Lawrence getting very close to Zalan. I think it's just a matter of time. before this happens. Let's watch him as he makes this done. Zalan's not going to DRS, so it's going to be a walk in the park, you would think. Yoni Tormel also getting up to 17th place. Lovely to see. We also have Duncan Hoffley getting up into 3rd place as well. Let's jump on board to him there, see what he's doing. Looking good. He needs to get past Ryan as quick as possible, but before Cameron just flies away with this. It's looking like it's going to be Duncan pushing for the lead. I love it. I love it. That's okay. We got a good bit of action, but it's not every single corner too hard to keep up. We've got East Van Puki get very close behind Zalan as well.
Yeah, trying every single move. Again, Zalan taking an extremely defensive stance, trying not to lose time and positions, but he's already outside of a second of Otis Lawrence. Keep an eye on Jarno Opmir's pace, by the way. He's done almost a second on the pack in front just on this lap, and Jan Halliday is like, thank you kindly, I'm coupled onto this train. Jarno Opmir, the cheerful conductor in that Red Bull car. Zalan will defend, try as he might, but resistance is futile. Istvan Pukki throws one down the inside. Zalan tried to turn in, but he was always there. And up into the top 10 moves the Mercedes man, and the second one is here. Bit of a squeeze and sidepod scrubbing into the Maggots Beckett's imitation. And they just about get through there unscathed. But for the likes of Duncan Hoffland, Jarno Opmir, Otis Lawrence, it is the story of cutthroat comebacks. Think Lewis Hamilton in Sao Paulo 2021. And just like Hamilton, you want to be in the room where it happens, because this is all-out action.
Definitely. Let's jump on board to Duncan Hoffland. Is he going to be making a move here into 2nd place? Yes, he is. He's got it done. He is now in 2nd place for this race. Just to show you guys, that's up 12 spots. He started 14th. He's now in 12th place. Jarno and Otis also up 10 spots. Let's go back down to Jack West. Oh, it's getting a little bit spicy here, Carl.
Oh, he's trying to uncouple himself or un-Gorilla Glue himself from Luca Rapassa, who's actually lost momentum of his own because Brendan Lee has taken the advantage to ascend into P14. So, great day. Throw your arms up in the air like you just don't care if you're a Kick Sauber fan. I can tell you now, Scott is beside himself. Through goes Brendan Lee, and long may that positive progress continue. Ryan Grob, though, in P3, keeping up with Duncan Hoffland for the moment. But look at Jarno Opmir setting the timing sheets ablaze. He's ignited his pace and almost already within DRS range. You said it, Scott. Just a couple of laps. That's all he needed.
Yeah, that's kind of mad, actually. I didn't think it'd be this quick, to be fair, but yes, he is on a charge as well. Once he gets there, he's going to have the same opportunity as Duncan has. To be fair to Cameron Dowd, Duncan's now had free air for a lap, and he's not really gained much or lost much. It's a bit of a stalemate there, so we'll jump back a little bit later. Let's go down and look at Rapassa as well, okay? He's in a fight with Leo Lund. Again, Leo Lund's won 2 races this season, so you can't count him out. He has been one of our fastest drivers.
For sure, he absolutely has, and, well, while he hasn't won a race so far this season, it's been consistency. That's been the key, as it is with, well, any league, to be honest with you, but particularly in the Ironman League, where it is such long races, where it is quite easy just to take your eye off the ball for a matter of moments. Luca Rapassa, like I say, hasn't won a race, but he's been up there constantly, and that's why he's our championship leader. Got a bit of work to do, though, today. Down in 15th, Otis Lawrence, his chaser, up in the top 10, looking for more points on the board. As wide goes Gabor Santos. Tom Roberts will be on his case in no time at all. Jarno Opmir, though, is firmly in DRS range, and that's what was a 5-car train now turns to 7 as Brendan Lee is looking for moves. Fantastic. Rejoice, Kick Sauber fans, because round the outside he goes. The triple right-hander. And brilliant from Brendan. He's almost just clutching up points potentially in that top 10.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing well. Should be happy with that progress. But, of course, Jarno and Duncan are the ones to watch at this moment in time. They've done absolutely incredible. Jarno is now comfortably in that DRS, but now he needs to get the overtake done. Hamish Kokanate, fast driver, but you would sometimes think Jarno might have the advantage there. All right, what's happened there? Stephen Vasso, I think, has had some issues. Obviously, had the disconnect. I think that was going to be our first... I'm going to say rage quit, but I feel bad this time because if you've had an internet issue, that always upsets me. So very unfortunate, but we have lost our first driver of tonight, 11 laps in.
Yeah, it's a horrible sinking feeling. I tend to agree with you, Scott, with what you said earlier in terms of you never quite know what's going to happen in league racing. Sometimes it's better to weather the storm and see what you can muster up. There might be a safety car that saves your bacon, or perhaps you just have that greater pace. You might as well make moves and get your way on through, like we have Sprogis has just done. Up to P4 goes the Williams man, and it was important he did that, because now this train are losing touch with Duncan and Ryan up ahead. That's down the inside, goes Luca Repassa. Haven't seen him make a move in a while, but he definitely has there. Into P14, the championship leader ascends to.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to bring Josh back into the talk for just a little minute. Josh, if you're still there, you've been watching some of the streamers' streams. Has there been any moments, any emotions yet from any of the drivers?
I mean, they've all seemed pretty focused at the start here, kind of just focusing on the driving. Jarno's starting to get a bit talkative, maybe about the tyres as well. One other thing I've noticed, a lot of the drivers struggling with engine temperatures, which is going to limit their ability to make the overtakes down the long straights.
Very interesting. Thanks, man. Yeah, Carl, that's a good point regarding engine temperatures, right? Because as far as I'm aware in this game, if your engine can get over, I think it's maybe like the 130s or something, but don't take my word for granted. But the moment it gets over a certain number, you actually lose performance. We'll get Carl back in a minute. Sorry, on you go, Carl.
I think Carl has just disappeared for 2 seconds.
Fair enough. We'll get him back in, so don't worry about that. Yeah, it's one of these things, right, with the engine temperatures, Josh. Like, when it gets over a certain amount, it actually has an impact on your performance, which is why sometimes you can see the drivers going to, like, the opposite end of the track. If it's a straight right, they'll go to the right, they'll get out of that slipstream, and they'll try and cool everything down a bit.
Yeah, it used to be quite a big thing on F1 23, and then it got turned down a bit for 24, and I think it's come back once again a little bit higher. So it's kind of been tweaking around. I think the place it's at right now is quite a good balance, because you can't just sit directly behind the cars for the entire race, but equally you do have to kind of sit there in the slipstream to get the moves done. So it does kind of balance itself out quite nicely.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so we've got Luca Rapassa and Leo Lund still fighting out a little bit. Duncan Hoffland jumping up to him for a minute. He is slowly getting that pace down, or pace up, sorry. About 1.6, 1.7. I did see that go to about 2 seconds, right, with Cameron, so he's definitely doing it. As you can see, though, he's pushing quite hard. His battery is quite low. Let's go into Cameron, who is also pushing quite hard as well. So these two drivers, it's not like they're just doing slow laps right at the front. They're absolutely killing it. Carl, let me know when you're back in. But until then,
I have returned.
Hello. Brilliant, Carl. Welcome back to us. All right, you didn't miss much, but we have Otis Lawrence getting quite close to the back of Jan.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Alpine have got some sorting out to do. Otis is in that championship fight. Jan, though, whether he's feeling polite or not is another matter. Might not even need that, because Otis sends it down the inside, or shows the nose, to try and throw Jan Haladesh off-piste, and it almost worked, but the Alpine man remaining stout in defence, and he remains in P8 for the moment. However, Otis, we have no doubt, is going to send it down the inside. The script's right itself. Through goes the man chasing the championship, but no. Marvellous momentum from Jan. Thinks about it for a moment, but ultimately Alpine making the sensible choice, and Otis Lawrence up into P8. And those two not too far off this 4-car train in front now.
Yeah, definitely. We get Brendan Lee getting the overtake done on Zalan as well. Sadly, he's just kind of bleeding some places here, which is unfortunate for him, especially with that time penalty as well. Let's look at the tyres. So basically, everyone started medium. The only two were Brendan Lee and Joni Tormela. Bad day for Joni Tormela, right? Because he went into the hards and then had a spin or an incident with someone in lap 1. It put him all the way to the back. So that's a kick in the teeth whenever you choose the harder tyre strategy. But the race isn't over till it's over. These hards could probably go quite a while on this track, I would imagine, because based on other races in this season, by this sort of time, we would have seen some of the medium guys already in the pits, Carl.
Oh, for sure. And I think Brendan can feel very confident at the moment. The fact that he's keeping with these medium runners pretty damn well, considering he's on the harder compounder tyres. Of course, now we'll start to see when that crossover emerges. Leo Lund, right on cue, Scott. Yep. He's our first pitter for today. Onto the hard compound tyres, so clearly thinks those mediums are toast. It's been a bit of a fight it's been a bit of a fortuitous fight for Ferrari so far. Last 2 positions at the moment, but with a chance to undercut, Leo Lund can just get his head down in some clear air and find that confidence. We're highlighting, though, the Aston Martin machine, because Duncan Hoffland is just etching closer and closer to DRS.
He is indeed. He's definitely picked up the pace now, which is cool to see. So he will be going for a challenge of the lead soon. Yeah, with that, Jarno Opmer getting very close as well. Gets the overtake done on Tamish Kokanee. Gets it stopped in time. Can Tamish do anything about it? No. Has to let that position go. Jarno up to 6th place. Him and Duncan, I got a funny feeling, are going to be fighting for this. So yeah, now seeing a pit stop around this time, my head's going to say that's probably going to be a 2-stop race for most.
You would have to agree. Otis Lawrence, by the way, throwing caution to the wind. He wants Jarno Opmer firmly in his reticule, but again, the outside line, that compromised grip, not providing Otis Lawrence with that outstanding overtaking opportunity, has to wait behind Thomas Cockney for at least a little bit longer. This is the tyre situation still, ladies and gentlemen. Only one person has made a pit stop so far, and that's the penalty situation. But we have a couple more pitters. We have Zalan in the Williams, Balin in the Mercedes, both coming into the pits to ditch the mediums as Otis Lawrence sives down the inside of Tamas Cockney up into P7. Quite an interesting bit of intel we've got in the YouTube chat is apparently Jarno is fuel saving, or has been fuel saving for a couple of laps. So perhaps that's why he was biding his time, just sitting in the train, saving the fuel, saving the battery, and that last lap, he had the confidence that he had saved just enough to get recoiled and ready to strike.
Fair play. Lovely to hear that, guys. Chat, let us know all of these things as well. We'll also have Josh commenting on some issues as well whenever they pop up. So Duncan Hoffman basically in that DRS now. It's going to be this lap or next lap. He's going to be in there. What a great race this has been so far. I'm loving it. We're settled out the tiniest little bit on this train, but that's because we're starting to see the pit stops. Let's look at the tyres. Medium guys are up to 14th. We have an overtake for 8th, and 9th. Thomas Kokanee getting very close with Jan there. Let's just see what happens here. Very close. Little bit of wheel touching. What can Jan do? Will he send it down? No, he won't. He's going to stay behind for now.
Yeah, sensible stuff. Keep both of them in DRS. No need to bring themselves down to the people's levels behind for the time being. Just play it cool. Keep it composed, lads. There's plenty of time. Only lap 15 out of 56. And yes, that can absolutely fly by as a driver when you're on circuit, when you need to make those crucial moves, but another driver falls foul of time limits, track limits, penalties, and that's Istvan Pukki. He's got 3 seconds next to his account as a couple of other drivers, I think it's actually just Ryan Grob, peeling into the pit lane. The man that sat in P3 says lap number 16, now it's time to pull the pit lane trigger.
Yeah, definitely. Otis right now has gained the most positions with 13. Jarno and Duncan both on 12. In a league of their own, this race, honestly, lovely to see it so far. We'll see how that materializes later on. 15 laps for the mediums. Definitely going to be, I don't think we're going to see many mediums past lap 20 here. They'll all be coming in soon. It depends. It looks to see that everyone's going on hards. I guess softs are a little bit useless in this game, so I don't know if we'll see anyone go medium, and then onto another set of hards or softs at the end, but it's probably most likely going to be a sort of medium hard last pit into a second set of mediums, probably, right, Carl?
I would agree, absolutely. I think Jarno Opmer was sizing up a move. Yes, he is sizing up a move down the inside, but contact made. Just misjudged it. Clips the rear left of the car ahead, and that is absolute disaster for the Red Bull man. The Flying Dutchman had a searing start, but it has come slightly unraveled here on lap 16. Still plenty of time to go. Still firmly in the DRS train, but not the optimal way forwards, as Brendan Lee getting those hard tyres. They've come into a world of their own as well, looking to take different lines this way and that way, able to just clip out of that dirty air. Such is the grip that they have in comparison, but he's got the tall task of overtaking Mr. Jack West.
Yeah, definitely. You will start to see the hards, as you say, get a lot better now. He seems to just be biding this time. We can't see his battery until he moves. Otis Lawrence actually getting the move done and way off the track. Not too sure what happened there. Must have just misjudged that. Has to settle for 5th right now. Dennis in the Haas in 4th, not letting anything get by him there. Very interesting from two of our race winner protagonists, right? Otis and Jarno. Big mistakes, all within the same lap.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is just proof that they are actually human, all right? If you've ever wondered, oh, how will I ever get close to their level? Don't worry, guys. They also make mistakes, so it's okay. Lap number 17, though, Duncan Hoffland was teetering on the edge of half a second, now 0.6 of a second behind. What's his battery looking like? The answer is he's got quite a lot to burn, but he's not choosing to burn it. Not quite close enough. to provide him with the impetus of actually making the move. So he's just going to sit behind, give it a rest, and wait in behind Cameron Dowds once again, who by his own account actually is having a very good run of things. Honestly, has held that lead ever since he took it off Ryan Grob, but now he's got the tall task of dealing with Duncan Hoffland as Jan Haladej going for the switchback on Tamas Korkany. Again, just about enough room left, working with millimetric margins as down the inside at the left-hander goes Jan Haladej, has the proper pace and power, tremendous traction for the Alpine man. That's P6 on the road.
Nice, you just said that. I love it. Okay. So what I didn't realise is the gap between second and third is ridiculous. As we have a McLaren going in, that'll be is it Tamas, yep, going in for the pits. The gap is 5.6 seconds, Carl. Like, my God.
Yeah, those two are absolutely flying. There's no other way of putting it. They haven't been squabbling too much. I think that's what's come down into it as well, is that one, Richard Sprogis probably doesn't quite have the pace of Cameron Dowds and Duncan Hoffland in this first stint, as evidenced by the 6-second gap, but also these lot are fighting hard behind, and you just end up compromising 10th after 10th after 10th as a result. Again, interesting to ride on board with Otis Lawrence here, just how much curb he takes. Not only that, sometimes how early of an apex he takes. That's one way of just nullifying the dirty air effect, as we have no doubt again, yes he does, absolutely scythes down the inside, and it could be a much easier set of affairs. Yes, whole car in front compared to when he attempted it on his teammate. Jarno Opmeer going to most definitely rocket his way through, as we have a new race leader. Duncan Hoffland is up into the big time. First place here in COTA.
Definitely everyone overtaking at the same time just to make my life harder. Thank you very much. But we do have Duncan in first. We have Jarno up to 6th place as well. Looking good for everyone. Although if I'm Richard Sprogis, I'm watching that time go farther away from me. Okay, Geborg and very close with the kick of Brian Grob. Let's see who backs out here. Looks like the McLaren might just have to settle a little bit. But Tom Roberts going to the outside. Will the kick get there? Yes, gets his car in front at the apex. And there you go, into 12th place.
New tyres is a joke. Absolutely lethal from Ryan Grob, honestly. But that's the advantage you have, as he just makes it look absolutely effortless. Up to P12 goes the Kick Sauber driver. They're almost both line astern on the road. 7.5 seconds to the cars in front. But remember, Ryan Grob is the lead car that has made a pit stop onto those hard compound tyres. And I'm just watching to see when these guys pull the pit lane trigger. And are the likes of Duncan Hoffland down to Joni Tormala, are they all going for a one-stop today? Because Ryan Grob seemed to pull that trigger, as did Leo Lund. They all seem to pull it relatively early-ish. But these guys sticking it out on the medium, still finding some decent pace as Gabor Santos gets another time penalty next to his name. Not ideal at all. But is there a one-stop potentially on the cards here in COTA?
It could be definitely a play to go. Otis is known for doing stuff like this as well. It does push the boundary. Now, we're going to just watch this overtake for Otis going into third. And then in a minute, we're going to bring Josh in to give us some of the clips of the Jarno and the Otis incidents. There you go. Otis Lawrence into third place. Josh, let's bring you up on camera. Take us away.
Yeah, so first and foremost, the Jarno incident, he was gaining here in the fight for P4. Has a look to the inside, of course, heading into the brake zone. Just misses the braking point slightly, locked the rears. It was such an unfortunate spin for him. Fortunately, managed to recover quite well. Came back out in P8. Already managed to make a few overtakes. As for the Otis incident, it was actually quite a similar thing. So heading down, this was the start-finish straight this time around, heading up the hill towards turn 1 a little bit further back than Jarno was. Interestingly, overtaking the exact same Haas car. Looks to the inside, a very late move, very nearly hits the back of the Williams and manages to recover slightly better, but very nearly could have been quite a big incident there.
That's banging. Josh, thank you very much for keeping us up to date on that. What a legend, guys. I'm sure you will agree. It's nice to see these point of views of the driver. We have Dennis coming out of the pit. So, while we were away there, I can't speak anymore, guys. We didn't see much happening. We have a few more cars into the pits. But as you can see, with the tyre wear and the tyre laps up in front of you, most people have decided to stay out, Carl.
Indeed. And looking at Dennis Langrock, actually, who had just made the pit stop for the American Dream Team down in P16, has been undercut not only by Ryan Grob, who looked to reinstate himself in provisional P3 when all is said and done, but also by Leo Lund and by Tamas Kokony. So he's lost loads of time, nearly 7.5 seconds, maybe even more, to Ryan Grob, as we see Brendan Lee on those hard compound tyres getting closer and closer to Jack West. We said it would be a tall task making the move on the Aston Martin driver, but we shall soon see if he can make those moves. It's so interesting as well. Jarno was in that spin, of course. He could have thrown all the toys out the pram. It could have been a mentality shift, but he's got himself back locked in again in a matter of moments, and is flying again. And it's unbelievable, the mentality all of these drivers have, honestly.
Yeah, no, I love it. Good point. Yes, he's back into 5th. Yes, he's going to need a bit of luck to get the win here, but he's definitely fighting for a podium, which is cool to see. Getting to a little bit of update from Josh as well behind the scenes. We're thinking that Brendan Lee's going to hit about 60% on his hard tyres around lap 35. So that kind of just puts into the perspective as Otis Lawrence goes into the pits. For the hard runner, it might be possible to have a decent one-stop for him, right?
For sure. They're all putting themselves in that conversation. Otis Lawrence might have a bit of a tougher time with the one-stop, maybe, but he's onto a fresh set of hard compound tyres, and where does he emerge in all of this? The answer is, he does emerge ahead of Mr. Dennis Langrock. So that's good news for Otis Lawrence, keeping the progress that he had already made, but he's got the likes of Tamas Kokony, of Leo Lund, and Ryan Grob, who continues to make a storming march towards the likes of Joni Tormala up ahead. So, to answer you, Mr. Alpha GooTube 123, great name. Never thought I'd say that on a broadcast. But a bunch of people have pit. So the guys at the front are still on their first set of tyres, down to Joni Tormala and a couple of others, but they've had slightly the wrong rub of the green so far today. But Duncan Hoffman and co, they're still on their first set of tyres, potentially looking for a big one-stop. Otherwise, others are on their second set of tyres of the race. Otis Lawrence already getting through on one McLaren. It's going to be a double papaya squabble. Through goes the Alpine man on not just Gabor Santos, but Tamas Kokony as well, if he can get it stopped. And with a flick of the wheel, although a sensational switchback from Tamas Kokony, read him like a book. And now the next chapter is just being written. Otis Lawrence with the inside, though, with the newer tyres. Again, more argy-bargy as Tamas gets forced off the track on the rear right. Didn't want to back out of it. And it's a 3-second time penalty for the McLaren man.
Very nice. Love to see. Yeah, it's never an easy overtake in this lobby. Everyone's going to fight you as hard as they can. Jack West, by the way, in 6th place. Loving to see this. Jack West sometimes can be extremely fast, but gets into some controversy. He's doing really well this race. Love to see him up there. So yeah, Reard Sprogus into the pits now. Let's get the tyre information back up, guys. As you can see, oh, that McLaren just absolutely sent it out of Tamas Kokony, getting the move nearly done on Tom Roberts. Absolutely sent that. Didn't think he was going to be so audacious, but there you go.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. Doesn't matter what part of the track you're on. Pit entry, pit exit, who cares? Make moves wherever you want to, because it gives us all of the commentary, food and flavour we could possibly need. Up at the front, meanwhile, actually, while we were feasting our eyes on Josh's clips of Jarno Opmeer and Otis Lawrence committing what we call an oopsie, Duncan Hoffland got a 3-second time penalty. So that slightly throws the cat amongst the pigeons. And I also will say, credit where credit is due, Cameron Dowds, well played, sir, remaining super glued to that slipstream and DRS of the Aston Martin in front.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't see that 3-second time penalty. That's rough to see. That could make a difference. Oh, we have the kick of Brendan Lee just absolutely sending it. Love it. Gets it done at that last second just to try and throw off the driver. Absolutely nailed that. Even so much so that Jan actually lost another spot there to Joni.
That's what can happen. If you make that forceful kind of move, you can actually lose not just one, but multiple positions as a result. As I thought Jan also went wide there, just to compound his misery even further. Luca Rapassa, though, he's on the move. Through into P14 he goes as he scythed his way, slaloming through down the inside. Jan, though, is out of this race. Got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and as soon as he saw that, he thought, that's my day done. And the second driver to bow out of this race. So that is Josh's prediction, ladies and gentlemen. Luca Rapassa, though, is not done making moves. Through he goes, takes 2 to tango. They dance delightfully. And through the championship leader goes into P12.
Yes, 23 laps in and we are 2 drivers down. We're getting close to my numbers. Let's keep it, or not. I hope I'm wrong, but yes, we will see. So yeah, Duncan Hoffman still remaining in the lead of this race. Jarno, He's struggling a little bit now to get that time down. Got himself into third, which is great. Otis Lords did pit, so he moved into third there. But 7.8 seconds that's a lot. That's a lot for any driver when the two drivers you're talking about is Cameron Dowds and Duncan Houghlin. Duncan Houghlin a bit maybe more known than Cameron, but Cameron a very fast driver. If you watch sort of league racing, you probably will have seen his name around.
Of course, yes, absolutely. I mean, he did start from the front row of the grid, did Cameron Dowds, but he's proving quite clearly it was on merit. He's absolutely flying, so well played to you. I will say Jarno's pace in clear air is electric in its own right. He's just chipping away 10th after 10th. Even with that slight mistake earlier on, dropping him a few positions, he is still keeping fully focused as Joni Tormela and Jack West go for that dance and duel. Brendan Lee has actually managed to displace Jack West, and Joni Tormela won't get the chance to try that dance because Jack West peels into the pit lane. They're all flocking in droves now, Scott.
Yeah, no, they are, and definitely. And we'll bring Josh in about 20-30 seconds, and we'll just get his thoughts on what he's seen in some of these drivers as we have Jack West coming out into the pits. Sorry, not out yet. Will drop down all the way, but as you can see with the tyre wears, right now Ryan Rob's looking good. 8-lap old hard tyres in 7th place. Otis Lawrence, though, with 3 laps only used in 8th place. He's definitely one to watch. Josh, are you with us? You get any little updates or insights for us for the race?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one comparing the one stop and the two stop right now. Obviously, the tyre wear seems to be all right for the drivers who are out there managing at the moment. The guys who have stayed out are top 6 drivers. Ryan Grob, though, has now caught the back of the train there, Joni Tormela and Brendan Lee. So he's kind of made up that pit stop that he's taken. He's got much, much fresher tyres as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that strategy compares because he's going to be making heaps and heaps of time in these next few laps.
No, very cool. Thank you so much for that. As we have the kick guys going for it. Joni Tormela not wanting to let anything go, but will have to. And we have Thomas Kokanee and Luca Rapasa getting very close as well. Carl spicing up a little. Lap 24 out of 56.
Oh, yes, it is. Nearly at the fulcrum point of this race. And we're seeing that what a track Texas is to be selected, honestly. What a track, because there's so many opportunities to make moves, such as the width of the track, the opportunity to cut through corners like it's anything, whether it's that Sector 2 straight, whether it's the section after as Duncan Houghlin, our race leader, peels into the pit lane, and Keller surprises the hard compound tyres, and like KCB says in the chat, Duncan and Jarno have very similar pace, looking at a one-stop for sure. On evidence, you are absolutely right. I've also got Steve saying, on merit, isn't it reverse points? Referring to Cameron Dowds. And yes, I know it's reverse grid in reverse points, but I'm saying it on pace. He kept up with Duncan, okay? You know what I meant. Lap number 25, though. We carry on. Brendan Lee has been passed by Ryan Grob, who, in theory, is on that 2-stop. So the fact he's taken over from his one-stopping teammate must be confidence in spades for the Kick Sauber man.
Yeah, I'll leave this tire information up for you guys for a lap or so, just so you can try and like digest. It's very different. Not many people are on the same things. You've got the guys at the front, right, on the 24-lap medium tires. They must be screaming at this point, honestly. We get Ryan with 9-lap hards. We get Brendan Lee, who started on the hards, right? Don't forget that. In 5th place, we'll have to do a pit stop eventually, but we'll have super fast tires till the end. And as you can see, when you get into the mids, it's all a bit different, right? 4 laps, 11 laps, 0, 7, 10, 5, 3 laps, right? It's all kind of over the place. And I would just like to give Ironman a little bit of credit where credit's due. This is what they wanted by making it a full dry race, as they were hoping that all of these drivers would do different things. And here you can see Duncan Houghlin was in the lead of this race, has done his pit stop now, and is in 9th place.
Well, we did call it into question at the beginning of this, but so far, all signs point positive. As Cameron Dowds now, our other race leader, or the other one in the lead race battle, comes into the pit lane as Otis Lawrence sets the fastest lap, a 1:34.9. That is the marker on those new tyres, and he is absolutely going for it. Jarno Uppbeat still yet to make a stop, as we have another driver to go. That's my prediction of 3. Balint in Mercedes bows out of this American Grand Prix. Jarno Uppbeat assumes the race lead as a result. Istvan Pukki in P2. Ryan Grob up to 3rd with Brendan Lee not far behind. No doubt whatsoever, though, that Jarno and Istvan will surely peel into pit row in a matter of moments.
They must, right? 25 laps in the mediums has been ridiculous at this stage, as we have Yoni Tormala, getting overtaken by Otis Lawrence, up into 5th now. Look at the intensity in that and those eyes. He is ready to go for it. As we have Ryan maybe going for a move, actually gets into 2nd place. Those new tyres coming in clutch compared to East Van Pukie on the old mediums.
If you ever needed a depiction and a visualization of the tyre disparity, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, as Ryan Grob is surely, in theory, going to snatch the lead away from Jarno Opmer, as we've got more battling further behind. Dennis Langrock versus the Williams duo. Down the inside, will turn to the outside line for the left-handers. Does he break early? Does he go for the switchback? Oh, he thought about it. He sized up the car right where he wanted it to be. Positioned it aggressively, but it wasn't going to happen on that occasion. Williams hold that brilliant barricade for now. Jarno Opmer, though, doesn't peel into the pit lane, perhaps trying to steal some pace from Ryan Grob, who moves his way up into the lead of the race. But look at this. Otis Lawrence, who pit just 5-6 laps ago, is already on the Red Bull's coattails.
Definitely, and a bit of update from Josh as well. Otis has undercut Duncan by 3 odd seconds. That is big. Duncan's going to have some work to do. Yes, he has newer tyres, but at the end of the day, it's like sometimes getting these positions gained, that's the hard part. Otis Lawrence about to go into 2nd place. Nothing Jarno can do about this. If I was Jarno, I wouldn't even think about fighting this, obviously. He's going to have to come into the pits now and hope that come the end of the race, he is then in that better position than Otis.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. As the Oracle of F1 will open its rear wing. But ladies and gentlemen, British water technology, and riding the crest of a wave is Otis Lawrence to move up into P2 and now to challenge for the lead of this race as we are almost at the halfway point of the WOR Ironman League here in Kota. Brendan Lee not too far behind because he's just overthrown East Van Pukie. Otis Lawrence has already gone for it. Down the inside of the left-hander, we have another new race leader. The Alpine Ace moves up. Lead of this race at just about the halfway point of proceedings.
He's up 18 spots in 27 laps. Like, fair play to the guy. That is amazing. Jarno Opmer still not into the pits. East Van Pukie does. As far as I'm aware, Jarno is the last person left. No, Brendan Lee and East Van Pukie is into the pit. So right now, the only medium guy that's not pit is Jarno Opmer. You've got Brendan Lee, who's not pit, but he was on the alternative strategy. This is it. Jarno is going so long. Is he hoping for a safety car? If I was him, I don't know if one's coming.
If it is either, really, because all three retirements we've had have been in the pit lane. No one's ever really looked like getting a safety car coursed onto the track, as we have a lovely helicopter shot of the Maggots Beckett's doppelganger set of corners with our Flying Dutchman Jarno Opmer. Brendan Lee nestled into that DRS range as Otis and Ryan Grob look to escape up at the front. Like you say, maybe holding out for a safety car, but I personally think it is futile. I have much the same opinion as KCB in the YouTube chat, which is, yes, this is Otis Lawrence race to lose at this point. With the pace he's shown, you couldn't be more right. But don't count out this man, Duncan Hoffland. He's on a charge of his own. Past Leo Lund he goes, and into the top 5.
Yeah, so yeah, you can't count out Duncan Hall. Let's look at the tyre wear again. So yeah, there's 4 laps difference. I know it's not the end of the world. Oh, Duncan's sending it in. Does he get it stopped in time? He does as well. Amazing. Gets that. Well, he'll have the outside line. Does he have enough grip? He does indeed. Brendan Lee can't do anything about it. Banging. Just banging.
Could not agree more. With a flick and a swish and all of the panache of a Catherine wheel, Duncan Hoffland simply firework inducing racecraft as Jarno Opmer finally pits off the medium tyres. He did say it in his Miami rundown. He said he's always a fan of going longer on those first set of tyres to have fresher tyres at the end and to be able to push all the way to the flag with no qualms and no problems. VS saying Otis pitted at the perfect time. Evidence would suggest you are correct, sir. As down the inside went an Aston Martin of Jack West. Of course he was going to do it on Dennis Langrock. But the Haas man, the American dream, not letting the dream die just yet. Gabor Santos and Scott Taylor has won. I can't believe it. 4 predictions to the good on lap number 29. And they're dropping quite quickly, actually, Scott. There might even be more WOR.
I know, mate. Like Tom Roberts, if he doesn't get a bit of luck his way, he'll be gone next. And yeah, I'm sorry, we might have put a little bit of a curse on it. But hey, well, another one bites the dust. So Otis Lawrence 2 seconds ahead now. 2 seconds. Duncan needs to be quicker. He needs to do it. Oh, very close between Yanni there and the car in front of Cameron Dowds, who is trying to make his push back up to the start. And down in 12, Zalan gets overtaken by Jack West.
Yeah, much more academic move for Jack West. Nothing that makes my blood pressure boil. So well done, Jack West. One more Williams to clear then. Dennis Langrock couldn't get past the barricade from the gargantuan scene of Grove. But it's your turn now in the Aston Martin machine. Jarno Opmeer, by the way, exited the track. He's in P14 at the moment, but has got the freshest hard compound tyres of anybody in this race. So strap yourselves in. We'll get ready for that race pace. Cameron Dowds, though, through he goes with DRS into P5, and it's gold standard, first class, easy as you like, as Luca Rapassa makes an overtake of his own. Past Joni Tormula goes the championship leader.
Yeah, definitely. Duncan getting a little bit quicker now, getting up to Ryan, but Ryan is bleeding time desperately from Otis Lawrence. That's up to 3.3 seconds now. He's using this opportunity, Otis, to just get far away. Duncan's going to have to find just a little bit more here and get in front of Ryan, and then clear Ryan if he's got any chance of getting up to the lead there, because Otis is flying away. Like, remember, Jarno had a spin, right? It's going to be a little bit hard for him to take this lead spot, but Duncan, Cameron, even Brendan to an extent as well, if his strategy works out, as we have Duncan getting the move done. Very nice. Now you can see Otis in front of him, but he's going to have a bit of luck trying to get back up to there. That's 3.3 seconds now.
For sure, yes, and not only that as well, with the time penalty next to the name, that needs to be 6.3 seconds. It's even more hard work that Duncan Hoffland needs to muster up as we ride on board with Leo Lund. Reason being, Cameron Dowds is up to P4 now. Great stuff from the V-Card man, a contactless transaction, and he is well on his way. Luca Rapassa, look for the move on Brendan Lee, but it is textbook switchback to the T for the Kick Sauber driver to retain P6 and to frustrate Rapassa just that little bit more. I'm keeping an eye on that second Red Bull, though, of Jarno Opmeer, who's gained over a second on this lap on the battle of Dennis Landrock and Zalan, as Cameron Dowds now takes the fastest lap. Luca Rapassa gets his man comfortably into Big Red and up into the top 6.
Nailed it. We had an update from Josh about 8 minutes ago that Brendan Lee was over 50% tyre wear. He's still not come into the pits as far as I'm aware. He has not 30 laps. Him and Joni Tormela's tyres must be screaming at around the 55 to 60% mark now. That's mad. You're getting close to puncture territory. As far as I'm aware, it's about 75% or over. Or is it 70% maybe?
I believe, what, the punch territory? I believe punch territory is 80%. They've increased it on this game. It used to be 75%. You are quite right. But 80% on this game to reduce severe heart failure amongst most F1 drivers on F1 25 seems to have worked so far, but we have to wait and see what the new medium tyres are going to do for the likes of Brendan and Joni Tormela. They've weathered the storm so far. They're still carrying on here on lap number 31. The mediums proved by Jarno Opmeer they can do over half the race distance, so any time from now they could pull the trigger. But equally, the mediums do lose their pace that much quicker, which is pretty obvious, I know, but it's worth mentioning because they have to calculate how much of a pace advantage they will have for how many laps, because if they get it one lap wrong, one lap out, either way, either number one, their tyres will wear out too much towards the end, or number two, they'll never be able to use up the medium as much as they would have wanted.
Yeah, definitely. Cameron getting very close to overtaking Ryan. We would expect that with 10 laps difference in their hard tyres. Gets the move done. Needs to get close to Duncan. So there you can see Duncan and Otis, it's not really changed. It's roughly about this 3 seconds to 3.4 second gap that they've had for a couple of laps now. So a bit of a stalemate going on. Let's take a look at the batteries. He seems to be kind of chill, and he's using a little bit more, to be honest. So okay, different strategies happening there. Maybe Duncan's just trying to conserve his tyres a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. That too. And Otis Lawrence is using every single nanometer of track limit he possibly can. You saw it as we rode on board with him just then. just cutting every single curb as much as possible without attracting the ire of the stewards, which so far he has not. If he does, different conversation entirely, because Duncan Hoffland is suddenly thrust back into the conversation as he gains 3 temps just on this back straight. We look at Yoni Tormala, we survey the American Dream's cause, because Tamas Kokony is right on the back of him, breaking as late as he dares, but Tamas is going to do it slightly later. Contact on the inside as the McLaren man looks to mosey his way on through. Again, slight argy-bargy here and there, but they're pushing to the limits. Down the inside, he has the ascendancy through the left-hander, and the McLaren man up into P8.
Yeah, very nice as well. We'll also get Yoni Tormala having a battle right behind as well. He's had to drop off the slightest bit. Yeah, they're all waiting for that sort of end of sector 2, a couple of corners. Really interesting lines. You can just take many. Oh, there we go. So Yoni and Brendan, 33 laps. That's the hard tires, okay? Let's get, just so that you can see, that is us. Every single person has now done their pit stop. They made it 32 laps on the hards, and we're guessing roughly about 60% tire wear there. So do the math with some of these guys. For instance, Ryan Grob, right, on 17 lap hards, and Leo Lund on 19 at this moment in time. If they go to the end, that's a lot, mate. We've got 23 laps left. That would be a lot of laps on the hard tires. Maybe too much.
Well, there they are, cutting the pit line. It might not be pretty for some of you, but it is the optimal way to go forwards, as Brendan Lee and Yoni Tormala now have to go on an absolute rocket mission. They have got one of the most tough tasks possible, because yes, the mediums will make it to the end, no doubt about that, but like we said earlier, they've got to judge tyre wear versus overall pace. How much of the tyre do they use throughout all of this? Got lots of support here for Jarno in the chat, saying Jarno drives clean. That's what I love about this guy. And he's bided his time just to make sure that move can be committed cleanly, as the Aston Martin of Jack West moves up with a clean move of his own for now into P8. So good stuff from him. Jarno sizing up the outside line. We look at Dennis Langrock for a brief moment, but it's alarm bells ringing as Jarno will use absolutely every inch of track you offer him. Delightful stuff. From the Red Bull driver up to P12 he goes. And that is just a chef's kiss of a move once again from the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, you absolutely nailed that. All right, Josh, if you can hear me out there in the world, you've been on to some of the streamers' chats. You've been looking at all the momentum's going. If you had to guess where this race is going, do you have like a favourite that's came to mind? Someone that just seems to be just making all the correct moves?
To be honest, I still think Duncan isn't in the terrible position. Of course, his penalty not going to be helping him out too much. I think at least on track, he could still be in with a really great shot. It looks like Otis has been pushing quite hard, running his battery right down to that 10% mark. And I think he might have maybe used up a little bit more of his tyres. Of course, he's also used a bit more because he pitted a couple laps earlier. Yeah, definitely going to be an interesting one with that. Looks like as well, Jarno kind of just taking it a bit easy right now, saving the tyres for later on when he can charge back through as well. Of course, he also went a little bit longer on his tyres, so just giving himself that best opportunity later on in the race kind of seems to be the plan for a lot of the drives right now.
Yeah, fair enough, Josh. Thanks so much. So yeah, definitely, we're looking at Otis and Duncan. It is maybe up to Otis to lose. It's Jack West gets the overtake, but Tamas Kokony's not letting that one go. Nearly goes out of the back of him because Weird Sprogus behind as well, pushing him along the way. Oh, love it with the Williams, just sending it in there. Nothing Tamas could have done about that.
Absolutely not. Clean as you like from Rihas Sprogis as Tamas Kokony looked to send Jack West to another point of the compass entirely. Luckily, no harm done. They're all still in the right direction. We survey Jarno Opmeer once again because he is all over the back of the American-based team. Dennis Langrock will have to... Honestly, you've got a tall task, mate. I was going to come up with an analogy, but good luck. That's all I'll say. Leo Lundo is into the pit lane. From the top 5, he is coming in for his second stop of the day. You can only imagine it'll probably be mediums, but don't quote me on that. We shall soon find out. Jarno Opmeer, though, quickly dispatches of Dennis Langrock. The American dream is falling by the wayside as the Flying Dutchman gets his way into the top 10.
Yeah, very nice. And actually hards till the end of the race. And maybe he went harder allocation and had 2 hards instead of the 2 mediums. But there you go, on to hards till the end. Interesting when you get Brendan and Yoni on mediums that are older, right? That's strange.
For sure, for sure. I couldn't agree more with you. Just trying to see what kind of pace they have. Leo Lund has actually come out ahead of Yoni Tormala and Brendan Lee.
Yeah.
So good stuff from the Ferrari man on the fresh hard compound tyres, as it turns out. But there you go. On they go. Onto lap number 35 we're on. You know what? I said this race might feel like a bit of a slug out at times, but actually, laps are ticking by at a rapid rate of knots. Duncan Hoffland now under 2 seconds. Otis tyres starting to hurt just that little bit more. Of course, Duncan with about 4 or 5 laps. Younger hard compound tyres and using them to great effect, just having to turn out of the steering wheel there, not to incur the wrath of the stewards once again in this race. He's got 3 seconds of penalty so far. It's not impossible, but he will throw it into that realm if he does get another penalty today.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go on to Richard Sprogus, not too far behind Jack West. Everyone, Ryan Grob, that was the second person on the 2-stop as far as I'm aware. There wasn't many on the 2-stop, deciding that now's the time to get him. So it was him and Leo Lund as far as I'm aware, so we'll see where he comes out in comparison to him. We have Istvan Pukki as well, up into 8th. Jarno now up into 9th because of that. Jarno doing well, but needs to get by Istvan Pukki. That's not going to be the easiest thing. As Tom Roberts, look at the track penalties, especially Zalan. We're having a lot more than what we usually see here.
We do, for sure, but the track opens up the opportunities. Whereas in Miami, you were claustrophobically being closed in by walls left, right, and centre. Much more open space here in Texas, and much more of a chance to abuse the track limits and exploit them as much as possible. Unfortunately, just an overexertion of exploitation in the track limits department for a lot of drivers, and there's Brendan Lee now falling foul with the stormy cloud of the stewards in P13. So that medium tyre charge just got a little bit more arduous. Jarno's pace, though. Be interesting to see, actually, when he crosses the line, what his pace is like comparative to Joni Tormala's. So keep tabs on that. We'll see how much the medium tyre runners are actually gaining, as Richard Sprogus looks like he's got past Jack West.
Yeah, definitely got the move done. Let's take a look at their tyres compared. They're roughly about the same. Jack West slightly newer tyres, but roughly in the same sort of strategy. You would agree there. Fighting for 5th and 6th. I love to see that. But yeah, that time though between the top guys, like this, let's say the top 3. We'll count Cameron in right now, because that gap between 3rd and 4th is phenomenal. That's nearly 10 seconds now. Just goes to show that this top, especially Otis and Duncan, they've not been slowing each other down. And Cameron's doing a good job to keeping the fight there, to be honest. Thomas Kokene into the pits for the 2-stop.
He really is. Again, kudos to Cameron Dowds, who has had incredible pace all the way through, has been super consistent, kept out of the way of track limits, has done everything he's needed to do today. Yes, he started up all the way at the sharp end of the grid, but he's had the pace to back it up as well. As Thomas Kokene peels in for his second pit stop of the day, it's going to be a new set of hard compound tyres. A lot of drivers actually who are on that 2-stop, as cutting the beam for the pit lane exit there, a lot of drivers actually not opting for a second set of medium tyres, which might wreak slight mental havoc on the likes of Brendan Lee and Joni Tormala, who have put all the eggs in the basket of that 1-stop with the mediums at the end. It seems like a lot of drivers preferring that hard compound tyre.
Yeah, definitely. It's, we have a little bit of a fight going with the Battle of the Hassies. We get Joni Tormala and Dennis. They have just fixed that there. As we have another overtake, and that's Jack West and Richard Sprogus. They're just swapping DRS now. If they keep that up, they might have a good chance of catching up to the guys in front. Keep that going, guys. But yes, with the Haas, I'm getting all a little bit spicy. Leo Lund comes in into the points position for the first time in quite a while in this race, into 10th place, hoping to do a bit more. But yeah, the guys down here, they're going to need a safety car if they even want a chance, I think, because the gaps are just too much. Like, to get that 4th to 3rd gap down of in like 8-9 seconds, that's going to take ages.
Couldn't agree more. Let's quickly go to Jarno Opmeer just to see he crosses the line. He's coming through the final 2 corners now. I want to see what his time is like when he cuts that beam. So here we are with the Flying Dutchman. He's got great pace, pulled himself back into DRS. 134.6 to Joni nice and quickly. What's his time going to be? The answer is we won't get it.
Sorry.
Damn it, I was so close. But Joni gained about 5 or 6 tenths in that particular section of the track. So the mediums do have decent pace. But again, they've put all the eggs in the basket. They've taken them quite a long distance, or given themselves a little bit of work to do. So we'll see. We'll see how the wear and tear is as we go. But Jack West and Richards, like you say, looking to catch Luca Rapasso, who's got a 10-second, nearly 11 seconds gap to the top 3 of Otis, Duncan, and Cameron Dowds. So where it was quite close quarters combat before, now it has really begun to spread out, particularly as you look up the field.
But Duncan, for the first time, is under a second from Otis. Let's be fair, that was about 3 seconds at one point, right? 2.5 at least. That's some statement. I'm just saying, that's some statement. So Duncan's been pushing like mad. Otis has been, hopefully, you know, realizing that he was probably going to catch up and tried to preserve some of his tires, you would hope. But you never know. It's lap 38 out of 56, and we are setting ourselves up for a really good end to this race.
I could not agree more with you, Scott, as Otis Lawrence will just about keep Duncan Hoffman out of harm's way, at least for the time being, but it's an inevitability, really. Duncan Hoffman, he's been farming the Infinity Stones. It's time to snap at Otis Lawrence, nearly at lap number 40 of the US Grand Prix. You've never heard an Avengers reference in a commentary before, but Otis Lawrence and Duncan Hoffman, it is going to be a gargantuan squabble up at the front of the field. We're with Leo Lundo, who is firmly in range of Joni Tormala, has DRS. He's just getting some cooling air onto his car to let the engine temps come down to a decent sense of normality, at least, as they're slowly but surely reeling in Istvan and Jarno up ahead. They themselves, though, catching Jack West and Richard Sprogis at a rapid rate of knots, as they themselves catch Luca Rapassa. It's all converging here at COTA.
Definitely. You have some banging sentences. I'm just saying, you're whipping it with some good metaphors here and analogies, and I'm into it, okay? So, yeah, let's go back down. We're looking at Ryan Grob right now. Kick, not the best day for the Kick guys right now, 11th and 12th, but there's still time for them to do it. Duncan Hoffman is now just in it. He's in this DRS. This is the fight we're going to be looking at till the end of the race. Duncan v Otis. Look, I don't know how many warnings Otis has. I would love to know that information. I don't think we can find it out, but if anyone knows the answer, let us know in the chat, because if he's on a third, like a second warning, if Duncan just pushes him the right way, like this could be good.
Otis Lawrence probably doesn't want Duncan Hoffman pushing the button as they head on to lap number 40, but you know what? Duncan Hoffman's pushed the DRS button, and now he's ever closer. What was over a second last time out, now teetering on the edge of 3/10 through Big Red for the 40th circumnavigation of COTA, riding on board with, well, the man that has driven superbly, barring the 3-second time penalty, has made the call to go onto the hard slightly later. Yes, he had the work to do to catch up to Otis Lawrence, but the top three in a class of their own, as everybody else looking to really feed off the scraps for 4th place and below, which is unfortunate if they went for that later pit stop, braved it out on those medium tyres early on in the day. Duncan Hoffman, though, will have the DRS just that little bit closer as Luca Rapassa gets another time penalty next to his name. It was going to be tough to hold it on the track. It's going to be even tougher to maybe even stay in the top 10 when all is said and done tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Duncan just happy to stay behind for now. If I was him, I think this is the right move. I've not got the threat of Cameron behind me right now. It's time to just conserve your car, get the temperatures down, get that tyre wear looking good, and get that battery up, and just sort of keep pushing Otis right now to make a mistake. He's got 16, 17 laps to go. And we are there, and these hard tires, they're still going to be quite rough, right? They're going to be over the 50% wear if you're comparing what Brendan was when he was roughly about 30, 33 laps. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to, especially Otis, like with another 16 odd laps, is going to get to high 30s. That's going to be quite interesting come the end. Duncan might have done this, to be honest. If he's got the pace, that 4-lap tire, the difference could be the key of breaking DRS and maybe getting 3 seconds in the lead.
Well, the one job he's got, and it's a tall order, let's put it this way, it's overthrowing the overlord that is Otis in COTA.
Yeah.
And that's quite tricky, particularly with the dirty air, although he does have, like we say, 4 laps fresher tyres. By the way, these guys aren't particularly out of it. I say these guys, the likes of Istvan and Jarno, but they've got to hope for a million things. One, they catch and overtake. They caught it. That's part 1 done. Part 2 is overtake them as quickly as possible. Part 3 is lay down the jackhammer and make sure they apply all the pace in the world to catch the top 3. And number 4, probably the biggest step of all, is a little sprinkling of lady luck, hoping Otis and Duncan fight tooth and nail. Cameron Dowds can get involved. So they've got a lot of stipulations. They're not out of the realms of possibility yet, but there's so many factors that have to go their way. in order for this
Yeah.
to fall into place.
You are right. Eastfan getting very close to the back of Weird Sprogus there. Yeah, it feels like a little bit the momentum's fell away in this mid-pack. Eastfan's still going to go for the move, though. I think he's about a tenth behind. Looks like everyone's pushing, actually, so he's maybe not wanting to give up. Oh, he sends it. I love to see it. Gets it stopped in time. Leaves enough space. Will he get the move done by the time of the next corner? Oh, it's very close and not giving it up yet. Weird Sprogus and Eastfan Puki are going for it. He does have the inside line now, though. Should be able to get the move done. Let's see what happens. Yes, Rehards has to stay behind, and Yarno is waiting.
Oh, he is. I had my heart in my mouth for a second because I thought Yarno was going to try and get the both of them by scything down the inside, and I was like, don't do it, please. But of course he didn't. Just playing it patient. Still 14 tours of the Circuit of the Americas to go in this race as Luca Rapassa peels into the pits again. The
Interesting.
championship leader at the beginning of this week, going for a second stop of the race. I thought with his age of time, it's 24 laps actually, it wasn't going to happen. Jarno Opmeer though, down the inside of Richard Sprogis, following in the footsteps of Istvan up ahead, up into P6. They've just got Jack West to overthrow now in the next few corners or next few fleeting sections of the track. And then they've got the very, very tall task of trying to catch the top three, or more likely, squabbling amongst themselves for P4 on the road today.
Yeah, it must be, because that time's 15 seconds now. It's not like it's just going up a little bit. Like, last time we spoke about that, it was 13 seconds, and now we're 15 and a half. So, like, fair play. Like, it's like, I still don't understand how that happens. Like, we have a 15-second gap, and my brain's just not piecing the seconds, and it must just have been gradual little moments as Eastfan gets into 4th place, Jack West overtaken. Nothing much he could do about that at this minute.
No, sensible not to fight it either. There's no point. He's got significantly decimated Pirelli tyres. And so, just going to sit in behind for the time being. You can imagine Jarno Opmeer, though, is not going to wait around in his own right. Going to mosey up to the back of the Aston Martin driver with, you know, just a cool few fresher laps worth of tyres on him. But still, those few fresher laps are absolutely crucial. We've got people saying they've got 14 laps for their tyres to not drop off a cliff. An interesting point. The hards usually retain their durability quite well, though, as Brendan Lee and Joni Tormela proved in that first stint of the race. So, all signs point to Otis and Duncan, in theory, having the rub of the green go their way. Cameron, though, equalising the pace in his own right, hovering at 2.5 seconds at the moment, just finding a few hundredths here and there. Keep an eye on him as we turn our attention once again to the Aston Martin man, Duncan Hoffland, firmly in DRS, and this, Scott, this is the closest he's been.
Yeah, it must be where he's going to try and think of a move. He's saved up his battery, everything's looking good. Half a second behind the two of them. The question is, once he gets the move done, can he break the DRS? It looks like he's not pushing. He's not pushing as hard as I would have if I was going to make this move. I'm not too sure what's going through his mind right now, but he is definitely happy to stay behind at this moment and realising that right now is not the best opportunity to try and break DRS. When is? I really don't know. What do you think is going through his mind, Carl?
It's tough to know, really, isn't it? Lund's gone past Richard Sprogis. A rudimentary move, but a move nonetheless. Joni Tormela looking to follow him through. He's on medium tyres. He's looking to poach positions all the way through on the medium compound tyres. And Brendan and Joni probably not making the progress. In fact, definitely not making the progress they would have been hoping for. But down the inside goes Joni Tormela. And he puts that move beyond doubt because he will have the optimal traction. And away he goes into P8 on the road. Jarno still hasn't overthrown Jack West. Not just yet. Duncan again. Just trying to push Otis Lawrence around Cota. And yes, someone quite rightly puts it, Brendan's tyres were crying after 30 laps. You are not wrong, but they might cry slightly less. The car is slightly lighter, perhaps slightly less abrasion going through the tyres. But to that equal account, the fact they have less fuel means they actually can push that little bit harder. So it's all a balancing act for the top two. Otis has all the answers. In fact, I was surprised Duncan didn't make the move on the last lap, given Otis was saving as early as halfway down the straight. So Duncan just happy to sit in behind, let Otis use up his tyres little by little.
Yeah, definitely. And Otis, you know, you can see him. This is what I wanted to see. He's definitely pushing on these straights and definitely trying to keep Duncan behind him at now. He knows he's got that time penalty, and that's a reason maybe why Duncan's probably tried it a couple times and not got there yet, because Otis is saving up his battery and he's absolutely sending it at those moments. Okay, let's go on. Yarno getting very close there. Gets the move done on Jack West. Very nice.
Good stuff. Flying Dutchman up into the top 5, and the chase for Istvan Pukki up ahead once again very much continues. But the top 3 battle, I said, keep an eye on Cameron Dowds, has had great pace, was gaining hundredths here and there. He's now gaining tenths here and there. Under 2 seconds the gap as Duncan remains poised and passive in the slipstream and DRS of Otis Lawrence. Cameron Dowds putting the hammer down, finding some searing lap times, and just being thrown into that conversation for that lead battle. He himself doesn't have a penalty next to his name, so if Duncan doesn't get a move on, the V-Carb man very much in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Thinking Josh has some information on maybe why Duncan Hoffman doesn't want to jump into the lead. Josh, are you with us?
Yeah, I've been listening into what he's been saying. It seems as if his plan is just to sit behind Otis, use that DRS to keep him within the 1 second margin, and then just save the tyres through the first and third sectors, give himself a better chance later on in the race. Cameron is catching though, so he might have to start thinking about a move very soon.
That's a good point, Josh. Just staying on with you for a minute. From looking at all the streamers this race, Jarno Opme, how's he been doing since he had that spin out? Has he sort of kind of just went into autopilot mode, or does he still think there's something he can do?
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a similar story. Jarno's kind of just sitting behind Istvan right now. I heard quite a while ago he's also happy to be behind Istvan, and he's just kind of saving his tyres, waiting for later on in the race to make those moves.
Fair play, Josh. Thank you once again for bringing us that insight. Okay, we've seen Jack West lose 2 spots there on the straight, and Duncan Hoffman stays behind Otis. Very interesting, Carl.
For sure, they make their way through the final couple of corners to lap number 46, Valentino Rossi territory, ladies and gentlemen, here in Kota, and it's still the Alpine man that leads. We would have certainly thought that there would have been a glorious gazumping act from Duncan Hoffman, but it has not happened in the green machine. And like Josh says, they're just endearing Cameron Dowds into that battle. Again, a big flick of the wheel into turn number 1. Otis throwing caution to the wind. He doesn't care about his front right tyre, let's put it that way. Still using that to garner the most pace possible as Jack West peels into the pit lane with 10 laps to go. His hard tyres are shot. That's his particular battle's done. He's going to go on to, no surprise really, it is a set of the medium compound tyres because softs absolute, never mind, hard compound tyres. Fair enough, Jack West, on he goes in P12 if he can manage to get Rihad Sprogis, or get in front of Rihad Sprogis. Many people saying Istvan Pukki isn't really gaining. He is not. No. He is not in fact gaining at all. The gap has remained stagnant at just under 15 seconds. Despite the few laps fresher tyres, just the pace in clear air is not quite there. So, the 3-horse race at the front. Again, Duncan Hoffland reels in closer, but it's not enough.
Yeah, guys, you're right for pointing out Istvan Pukki, but what I've noticed is no one has. See, anyone that's been in that 4th position place, they've just not been gaining. And will Jarno make any difference when he gets in there? I imagine probably the end of this lap. We'll see, but everyone seems to be struggling. That gap is just not going down for their favours, and Cameron Dowds is doing really well, to be honest. It was at about 3 seconds. It's now 1.7. As Josh pointed out, he's gaining, and he's gaining and gaining. And if Duncan and Otis stop, like, they're almost kind of a little bit afraid to do anything. If they keep that up, Cameron's going to be there in maybe 5 laps.
For sure. And actually, while we're on board with Jarno Opmeer, look who's just making him a little bit more nervous. Leo Lund, slightly fresher hard compound tyres. I wonder what the hard tyre situation is because I can't quite remember what Leo Lund was his pit time, and it's 6 laps fresher, the hard compound tyres that the Ferrari man has. So now Istvan and Jarno really need to work together because the Ferrari man will absolutely overthrow them as Brendan, rather interestingly, is really dropping back from Joni Tormala, has managed to gain a couple of attempts into Big Red, but has really uncoupled himself. So maybe there was a mistake or something from the Kick Sauber driver that we didn't quite see. Regardless, no consolation. We're on lap number 47. Again, same scenario. Otis in front. Duncan's going to remain passive in the slipstream and the DRS. Just save his tyres and battery and preserve his pace. Cameron Dowds is going to catch up just a little bit. And now it's a case of can Istvan and Jarno stay ahead of these two? Leo and Joni. What do you have in your artillery battery?
Yeah, very, very interesting. We're also going to bring Josh back for a minute to chat with us. I think he's got some sort of information about Yarno's fuel situation. Josh, you with me?
Yeah, we heard from somebody in the chat at the start of the race that he might have been doing a bit of fuel saving. He is still in the red on the fuel. He still hasn't got himself back up to the 0 mark on the fuel. He's still got some fuel saving left to do in this race, so that's probably why he's struggling a bit with some paces. He's battling here with Leo Lund.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Leo's had to just send it, but Yarno is not going to let it go, right, Carl?
Absolutely not. He's going to push it all the way to the bitter end, and he does win the battle, but will he win the war? Through the final... I probably can't say that, actually, but through the final corner goes Jarno Opmeer, ahead of Leo Lund onto lap number 48 now. The laps, they're dropping like flies. We're in the final stanza of this race, as McSpeed has put... Right, okay, look. I'm not even going to lie to you here. He's put team, and this is exactly how he spelt it, don't quote me. He's put team Floopma. And all I'm going to say, McSpeed, is probably stop typing so fast. Jack West with the fastest lap of this race in P12, a 1:33.341. He's been right in the thick of it. At least he's got the fastest lap next to his name as some sort of consolation today.
Amazing. All right, lap 48 of 56. The fights we're looking at is Jarno and Leo, but we're also looking at Duncan getting ever closer to Otis Lawrence. Battery looking good for Duncan. Let's see how it's looking for Otis. Not as good. He's definitely in a vulnerable situation, but Duncan has to clear Otis by 3 seconds. Is he trying to get rid of the penalty post-race, or is he just not bothered about it? I'm not too sure, because he needs these laps. He needs to make a push soon if he's going to get 3 seconds ahead, right?
Oh, for sure. I couldn't agree more with you. The time is ticking away. You can put all the Rolex sponsorships round the track as you want, but time is not on the side of Duncan Hoffland, who needs to keep his wits about him and be on his ultimate watch, because Cameron Dowds, like an absolute boss, is just reeling them in again little by little, although it has stagnated in recent laps, courtesy of the DRS, and Duncan working well with Otis, so 1.7 seconds, keeping the V-Carb man out of harm's way. I can only presume as well for Jarno Opmeer's case, as people are rightly saying the lack of any kind of safety car hasn't quite helped his race running, and you are right. But to equal accounts, he's probably just going to sit behind Istvan. As boring as that will be, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, as Ryan Grob goes down the inside, through into P8 he goes, kicks Sauber, now Linus Stern on the Circuit of the Americas track. But Jarno will probably just sit behind Istvan, because he's got that time penalty. Jarno knows he'll inherit P4, so he's just going to use that to save fuel and keep Leo at bay.
Yeah, definitely. The annoying thing about this level of lobby is to see if you have a mistake like Jarno did. He spun out, he lost easily 4 seconds or something, right? Minimum. It's very hard to come back when everyone's so good. Look how close Duncan's getting, Carl. Could this be time for a move?
It surely is time, but we've said it time and time again. In fact, there's so many times, it's almost a Cyndi Lauper tune, but Duncan Hoffland is, again, sizing up to the inside, getting some cleaner air on the front wing of that green machine against the blue blur. That is Otis Lawrence, who's trying to run away at supersonic speeds, but he cannot shake off Duncan Hoffland, who has been relentless throughout this Circuit of the Americas race. And I have to say, now is surely time. 6 laps until the end mathematically, although 7 tours of the Circuit of the Americas to go. Duncan, it's now or never. In terms of the race, he's burning the battery more than ever. It's going to be at turn number 1, into Big Red, looking for the switchback. A slight snap and switch from Otis Lawrence as he looks to plant the power down, and he lives to fight another day in the lead of this race. Now it's a job of battery saving all the way through the right-hander and through this next sequence of corners. As Raphael says, nobody from my generation got the Cyndi Lauper reference. Yes, but you did, Raphael. Shout-outs to you. Half a second again, Otis just allowed to escape the dirty air, saving his bacon as Duncan looks to try and casserole the Alpine man in front.
Yeah, but Duncan has saved all of his battery. He did not push at all as I was watching, and now this is it. Look at this. Half a second. Otis knows this is the moment. He's not going to be able to do it. Duncan's using his whole battery. Will he go to the inside line? Yes, he does. Does he get a stop in time? Oh my god, Otis just to the limit. It's just kept him in front. I don't know how he's actually been able to do that. If you could have stopped the video there and told me if Duncan would have made the move, I would have said yes.
Oh, but I honestly, again, heart in mouth. I thought that was it. I said now or never, and you know what? Duncan said, I tried to make it now, but Otis replied, he said never. He has the answers to the queries of the green machine. That's all he needs to do. His tyres are absolutely screaming, though, and they will be screaming even more so as they head into the final few laps. As KCB rightly puts it, Duncan is pushing Otis to lower his battery. He's not really understanding why Otis wants to keep the lead so bad. I can only assume it's because he thinks that Duncan is going to just rocket away with those slightly fresher tyres. At the moment, he's got all the defensive due diligence down to a T. 30-lap-old tyres for Otis Lawrence. And Duncan, it's another opportunity on this lap, Scott.
Yeah, this is it. This last 5 laps, this is what Duncan was putting all of his hopes on. Obviously, if he didn't have the 3-second penalty, he'd be probably the favourite to win, definitely. And I still think he will take this on track, but that 3-second penalty might just come back to haunt him. Let's jump back into his POV for this straight. Will he be able to do it? Needs a good exit here. Does he get the good exit? Kind of does. No, he doesn't actually. Otis got a little bit further ahead. He's got 0.6 of a second to get down. He's using his battery, but I don't think it's going to be enough here.
But look at Cameron as well. Cameron, I think, just snuck into DRS as well. So now the 3 horses really can get to this galloping final few navigations of COTA. Here we are with the V-Card man teetering on the edge once again and just nibbling his way back into the fight. Yes, he is KCB. Yes, he is in DRS. Here at the end of lap number 51, Duncan again pushing as hard as anything again to just force Otis to use a bit more of his battery to make the Energizer Bunny cry a little bit more. He has succeeded at the moment but can't quite get past. So, all attention points to Cameron. Lots of support in the chat. Can he get it done?
Yeah, so if I'm Duncan right now, I'm scared. I do not want the guy behind me making my life difficult. He's going to have to make a move soon with Otis. But again, Otis doing just enough, conserving like mad through all these slow speed sectors. As we have a little fight going on with Jarno and Leo getting right into it. Okay, a little bit of wheel banging going on there. Jarno not going to give up here on the outside with Leo on the inside. What's going to happen? Does he get it stopped? Goes for the inside. Oh, car, look at that.
Just about enough between them as again a bit of wheel banging through the right hander and then squeezing off the track the super gluage. It was bound to happen. They were so hammer and tong. Jarno as a result losing DRS to Istvan, and that was a really hard scrap between the Red Bull and the Ferrari car. Jarno now pushing like a stabbed aminal. No need for fuel saving anymore. He's got to try and get back in DRS. We've got the real Sebastian Vettel in the WOR chat. But he's asking, does he have wing damage? It looked a bit circumspect into the final corner. Many questions in the chat in terms of what on earth is happening. Tom Roberts, no surprise, sets the fastest lap because he was on the soft tyres. Duncan getting so close. Any closer to nibbling the diffuser of Otis, he'll chop his front wing off. It's now getting almightily nail-biting.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. That looks like 2 drivers that have been having a little bit of issue with each other the last 5 laps, and that was a boiling of emotions. That is the thing about F1 sim racing. Once your cars get locked in together, emotions flare. But Jarno in the leads right there. Duncan got the ERS. Does Otis have the ERS? Yes, he kind of does. And Cameron, does he have the ERS? Yes, he does. Okay, this is it. Lap 53 of 56. Any one of these drivers could win on track. Duncan probably will be put down to 3rd place with the penalty, but this is spicy.
Well, it's a question of hindsight, really. If he made the move on lap number 50, what would we be saying about the Aston Martin driver if he was able to have that chance in clear air earlier, to escape up the road away from Otis and Cameron, who could have fought amongst themselves? We will never know. Everyone's saying, quite rightly, dirty air is massive. And they are absolutely right. It is part of the burden they have to bear in this race. And, well, there's predictions in the chat. They're saying Duncan and Otis touch and Cameron just takes it. Otis going all the way to the inside to break the toe of Duncan, who thinks about a move, shimmies to the inside. Otis with the lockup. Has that opened up for Duncan? No, it has not, as we have another one biting the dust. And it's not royalty for Ferrari. Here in COTA, Tom Roberts bows out on lap number 53, so close to the end. Did get the fastest lap, so I guess that is some consolation.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. It's all kicking off lap 53. We have lost 5 drivers as well. Have a lot of fighting going down here with Brendan Lee and Luca Rapassa getting very close to the two of them. No one wants to give up any room. Oh my goodness, absolutely sends it. Will he hit his teammate? No, he will not. Will he get it stopped? Yes, he does, but he does not have the grip to get it around. Luca Rapassa will keep that spot. Now we're going to keep on with the leaders just for a second, and then he's nearly tried to send a little bit of contact, not enough. Otis will stay in the lead for now. Right, just for 1 wee quick second, we are going to bring up on the small screen what happened in a few minutes ago. Josh, if you're ready for me, please take us away.
Yeah, so it all started here, starting lap 52 in towards the final corner. Big send from Leo, heading in towards that final corner. A bit of contact there as they kind of wheel banged, kind of sorted itself out for a little bit as they headed down the straight in towards Big Red. Leo still not willing to give it up though, sends it down the inside. Jarno still sticking it around. There was more contact on the exit just briefly, and then we saw the big incident here heading through turn number 2 as they hooked wheels and then both went off the track.
What a legend, going right back to the action with Duncan Hoffley getting very close with Cameron Dowds right behind as well, staying line by line behind each other at the moment in time, but half a second with the top 3. They're half a second apart, Carl.
Otis Lawrence, our conductor for the course. Duncan Hoffland down the inside. This is it to make the move for the lead, and he's through. Not without contact. There was side pod contact on the Aston Martin as he absolutely sent it down the inside, but Duncan Hoffland makes his way through back into the lead of this race. But can he now break that gap? Can he break that 3 seconds? Does Cameron Dowds have the answer to Otis Lawrence? Because between him and the Alpine, this is for the win.
Yeah, definitely. Cameron could make or break here. Otis Lawrence just sends it right into the inside. Damage coming off from the cars, I think, but very close. Duncan having to stay in second place right now. Cameron right behind. Look how close he is. They need to go single lane again, but this is getting intense.
Oh, unbelievable. Desperation creeping in left, right, and centre. Well, this is it. This is where the gloves fully come off now. No more Mr. Nice Guy up and down the field. Duncan remaining laser focused on his sole mission. And there was lots of... We'll get back into it after this race. Lots of conversation about contact damage models. We alluded to it before the race, but I'm sure we'll have to talk about it again after this one. But Cameron Dowds now has a good chance, potentially, on the Aston Martin driver. Duncan's got to have his wits about him. Again, they snake. Maybe slightly late, but Duncan down the inside again. Has his car all the way alongside. Keep an eye on the V-Carb, though. He's got a great chance if they just scrap a little bit too much. Look at them again. Still wheel banging through. Duncan Hoffland has the inside for the left-hander. Trying to block the apex, but it's not enough for Otis Lawrence. Tries to get that momentum. It's all the question of astonishing attempts, but Duncan might well have done it this time. Again, it falls to Cameron Dowds. Can he displace Otis Lawrence? 1 lap of this race to go for the potential win in the Ironman League.
This is it into the DRS. What can Otis do? Needs to conserve his battery. Can't make the move now. Sorry. Okay, it's top 3. 56 laps. No safety cars have led us to Duncan Hoffland, Otis Lawrence, and Cameron Dowds fighting for the top 3. Who cares about the penalties right now? This is to see who wins on track. That's what all Duncan will be caring about right now. He's conserving the battery. Duncan is. Cameron is as well. Cameron's got loads of battery, Carl. This could be massive.
This is it, the triple threat. We've got that first DRS straight, and we'll see what on earth Otis Lawrence will commit in terms of his tactical plan for the rest of this lap. Duncan Hoffland back in the lead of this race. Has that time penalty next to his name, though. It was sensible from Otis Lawrence, though. Had to stay behind because he has those older tyres. Knows he just has to stay ahead of Cameron Dowds in order to win this race, burning all of the battery. Duncan defends to the inside. Otis will hold the outside line. Lock up from the Aston Martin driver, and it's going to ensue all the way to the end as Duncan holds round the outside. Otis still trying to find an opportunity to find the outstanding lead. Cameron Dowds, this is it. down the inside of the Alpine driver. It's nail biting. Bring us home, Scott.
As
Otis
we
just
come
has it ahead
round.
for now.
Amazing as we come around to the final few corners. It's been one of the best races I've seen in years. Well done to all these drivers. I think Duncan Hoffman will take us around with that time penalty. Will go down to third. What can Cameron Dowds do? He has to just say the second will be enough for him. Otis Lawrence, your race winner today, takes it away from Cameron and Duncan as well. Duncan, look at him, a big smile on his face as well. Jarno finishes 4th place as well, as we have everyone coming down. Leo Land, Ryan in 6th, Jack West 7th, Yanni Tormala down to 8th, Istvan Puki and Luca Rapassa 10th. Bad day for Brendan Lee. And you know what? Honestly, that was one of the best races I think I've commentated or watched on. There was maybe 10 laps in the middle that got a bit boring, but that was just serving us up a massive race for that final 5 laps. And my God, they did not disappoint, Carl, right? Wow.
I mean, if that's my introduction to the Ironman League from a commentary perspective, let me have them all, because that was absolutely electric entertainment. All the way through. There's a question of whether Duncan Hoffman can get that time limit penalty removed, but regardless, what a race we've just seen, Scott.
I was mad, right? I was mad. Let's bring us all up on the screens. Oh, right, Josh, from your end, I'm sorry we didn't get to see too much of you, but when we did, you came in absolutely clutch. I'm sure me and the chat will agree that just getting to see those POVs that you were able to give us was such a cool new addition to the show, and well done for killing it. But what did you think? What was your experience there going round that race?
I mean, that race, it was such an incredible one. We really had a lot of everything. The strategy played such a big factor. You could really see the differences in the tires, how that was playing into it, but also lots of interesting moments, lots of overtaking as well. It was a really, really great race.
I absolutely loved that. We'll just quickly go to the podium to see them all going absolutely crazy and to see the final lineup for the race. So your race winner was Otis Lawrence. Fastest lap went to Tom Roberts. Otis Lawrence, driver of the day. Was he your driver of the day? Let us know who takes that. Most overtakes goes to Jarno Opmeer. Very nice to see that. And cleanest driver, Leo Lund. I don't know how I feel about that one, to be fair. But hey, fair play to the guy, right? Fair play.
It is fair play to him, but let's see what the rest of the order looks like. Otis Lawrence wins it on the track. Cameron Dowds, P2, got very close, did the Flying Scotsman. Duncan Hoffman in P3. Jarno Opmeer takes 4th. Leo Lund, cleanest driver, in P5. Ryan Grob 6th. Jack West, Johnny Tormala, Istvan Puki, and Luca Rapassa rounding out our top 10. And you can see all the other drivers below.
Well,
that's some race.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep saying it. That was some race tonight.
I had so much fun. Genuinely, guys, let us know in the chat. How good was that, right? It was different from last week. We didn't have the lobby breakers or the safety cars and all that kind of stuff. But what we had was just great fun all around. And I am so thrilled that this Ironman season is just getting better and better and better. And I am here for it. All right, we'll see if we get any drivers in for an interview in a minute. But let's talk about who we think our driver of the day was. I'm going to let you guys go first, and then I'll just have a cop-out answer at the end. Carl, let's go with you first. What are you thinking?
Oh, it feels like a short straw. I mean, there's so many names you could throw in there, honestly. I think, Otis did all the defensive. Yes, it got a little bit gloves off at the end, we will admit. But he did all the defensive work beforehand to put himself in the conversation. I think Cameron Dowds needs to be put in that conversation. Yes, he started from the front row, but on pace, it was merited. He was absolutely flying, kept up with Duncan and Otis all the way through. Duncan, arguably, he's driver of the day in his own right, made up all the spots, got into that lead battle, managed to get there in the end, won it on the track. I think between him and Cameron, those two are my pick for driver of the day today.
Amazing, Josh. Let me get back to you in a wee minute. We're going to bring Cameron Dowds in for the interview. So, Josh, take us away if there's any questions you want to ask Cameron. Cameron, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Amazing. Welcome in, mate. Josh, what you thinking for Cameron?
Yeah, so P2, sorry, here today. P3 on the track. How are you feeling after that one, first and foremost?
Pretty knackered, to be honest.
Yeah, so
go, Josh.
With the strategy, you were one of the later ones to pit, I think. Went quite long on the first stint. Gave yourself the better tires at the end of that race. How do you think that played into your hands? Do you think that was definitely the right call?
To be honest, maybe I should have pitted on the same lap as Duncan, just so that I didn't have to do all that catching up for so long. Unfortunately, I was 2.5 seconds or 3 seconds behind him when we got into clean air, so I had to spend so long just trying to catch him up. So maybe I should have pitted a lap earlier. But apart from that, the general strategy was pretty decent. Yeah, the one stop was definitely better, I think.
Amazing car. What you thinking?
Firstly, congratulations, and if you say you're pretty knackered, I think all of our hearts were lodged into our esophaguses on the last laps. That was absolutely horrible. But I think looking at those last laps in particular, was there any point where you maybe look in hindsight and think there was an opportunity for me to potentially get the win today, or do you think you did everything you could have done today?
To be honest, I think on track anyway, I did everything I could have done. Maybe with a strategy, I could have done a little bit, but I mean, it was just impossible. Like to get close enough to make a lunge on one of them, especially with the dirty air. It was impossible.
Nah, fair enough. Well, do you know what? What I'm going to say, Cam, is you kicked ass today, mate. You might have started up the front, but do you know what? I've watched enough of these races. Staying at the front is such a hard challenge that many people fail every week, and you kicked ass, mate. So anyone that was watching for rooting for you in the chat, is there any couple of words you want to say to any of our watchers listening? They've been rooting for you, mate.
Yeah, hey, thanks for watching. Must have been pretty long, 100% race. And then, I don't know, hopefully I get to race again at some point, because, yeah, this was really fun.
Mate, if they don't get you back in, then they're missing a trick. Cameron, thanks so much for jumping into the interview as well. Have a good week, mate, and you should be really proud of yourself, man.
Yeah, cheers. You too. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. All right, next up, let's get Duncan Hoffland in for his interview. All right, I'm just going to bring him up on screen quickly so that we can see. Mr. Hoffland, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? And how was that?
I'm doing good. Did you enjoy it?
Mate, I was banging. That whole race was fucking great. Like, you absolutely kicked ass. So sad to see about your 3-second time penalty. But at the end of the day, like, I threw that out the window and we just watched probably one of the best races I've kind of watched. And you were a major part of that. So, like, take us through, like, what was the emotions in that race?
Well, yeah, first of all, I think right at the start, I noticed I had pretty decent pace, actually, compared to the others. So I was like, well, for now, the esports guys are pretty far at the back still, because I gained quite some position at the start. So that was good. And then just find my way through to P2. Then I had to catch up to Cameron. That's where the first, like, really sweaty part started. Finally managed to catch up to him and also got past him. Managed to race from there, so that Otis got in P3. He was gaining a tiny bit of time as well. And then he went in and I was like, well, he can make a bit of an undercut, but I just really want fresher tires for the end. So that's what we went for. Cameron went 1 lap extra and I think there was a mistake from him. So yeah, from there, I just had to fully send it, trying to get back to Otis. Finally got there, and then had a great battle with him at the end. That was probably one of my best battles I've ever had with anyone on the Formula 1 game. So yeah, GG's to him as well. And obviously, congrats to him for the win. Congrats to Cameron for P2. Unfortunately, I got that penalty. I just tried. I had to avoid Otis there. But yeah, warning is a warning, so can't remove that, unfortunately. So yeah, that's P3 at the end.
It's amazing. Carl, what are you thinking?
Oh, I was going to ask if his 3 seconds could get removed, but he's burst that bubble for me. So next up on my list, how did you find Kota to drive in this 100% race? Did you enjoy yourself out there?
Well, yeah, I think Kota has always been one of my favorite tracks, one of my best tracks. Already back in the days when I started league racing, noticed straight away that this somehow is a good track for me. So I think that also helped with the pace I had today. So yeah, definitely one of my stronger tracks. And yeah.
Duncan, I'm so excited this year for you. I've just got, I don't want to jinx anything, but I've got a really good feeling.
Well, you just did.
Exciting. No, when you've been on it, you have been on it. and I love to see it. And when you're on it, you're fighting with anyone in the world for that top position, and I love to see that. So, any last words you want to say to any fans that were watching? We get people rooting you on every week, as they should be. And again, thanks for just putting on an amazing show.
Well, thanks everyone for the support. I read every single message that if someone supports me, whether it's in my chat or even in the YouTube chat. So thanks everyone for the support. We're gonna make it a great year, and hope you all are excited for it.
I love that. Duncan, thanks once again for sending your camera. It really brings a new edge to this broadcast, and it wouldn't be possible if you weren't such a legend. So thank you. Goodbye. We'll see you next week when you're on the podium again. All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Let's bring on for the final time, a final interview of tonight. Let's bring in Mr. Otis Lawrence. All right. Otis, can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I can.
Let's go, mate. As we were just saying to Duncan, that was probably one of the best races I've ever watched, and you were a large part of that. Give me your thoughts from your ends. How was that race for you?
It was a good race. We did the strategy perfectly as well. Two stop wasn't going to work, so I went long, and I went with the undercut as well, which worked. But yeah, I'm sure as you guys saw at the end, me and Duncan's battle was insane. It was lots of fun. I'm happy he had a penalty because I won the race at the end of the day. So yep, I was just trying to make sure my exits were good coming out of the first two corners of sector 2, and then the corner just before the long straight. I knew I was higher wing, so I could use that to my advantage. But the last 2 laps, it was starting to struggle with my tire wear. But yeah, it was a fun battle. I'm happy with the pace, and I think the points I've gained on my rivals is pretty good. So yeah, much confidence going into the final race.
Awesome. Carl, what are you thinking?
Well, I'll just give you some stats quickly because why not? I'll be the stat man for you. From penultimate spot of the grid, you took the win today. You now lead the Drivers' Championship going into the final round. Just a bit of tyre talk because you went earlier than earlier than everyone in that front battle onto the hard tyres. How did they feel at the end? Because they were, I think, 35 laps old.
Yeah, I actually have no idea. They didn't feel good though. I was sliding a lot on the exit, but thankfully the higher wing helped me on the lower tire wear, the higher tire wear. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, I mean, I don't really care about the result. It was a fun battle, fun time. So yeah, I'm just gonna be focusing on the next race now.
Amazing. Right, so just before we head out for the night, I've got a lot of people cheering your name on. We also have you and Yarno have been our protagonists for the last few weeks. Got your both fan bases getting right into it, but you keep giving us some banging entertainment. Is there anything you want to say to the world that is watching you? Any little insight from the mind of Otis?
Didn't know I had fans, but thank you for
Just one.
Thank you for supporting. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, this is all a lot of fun. I really hope everyone enjoys. And yeah, I'm gonna come here and win it next round.
Mate,
Well, there you go. Scott
banging.
Taylor's now a very happy man.
That's me, mate. That's me. My number one
Yeah.
fan, yeah. Nah, amazing, mate. Again, thanks for the camera. Awesome. Just adds an extra
Thank you.
element
No
to
worries.
the broadcast. You're a legend. Go enjoy your victory, and I'll see you for the finale. All right, mate. Take care of
Yeah.
yourselves.
Thank you,
Well
man.
done.
Have a good one.
You too. All right, Josh, bring you back in. Right, final thoughts from Josh for the night. Again, thank you so much for joining us as well. I hope everyone's enjoyed having this new element to the show. I think it's been a massive success. Josh, yes, well done to you for keeping us just a little bit more in with all the action. Any last words from yourself for tonight?
I mean, it was just such a great race. As we said already, we had so much of everything, the tyre strategy, lots of great battles, especially that fight at the end. And I'm so glad we were able to see all of it. It was such a great one to watch.
I love it. Carl, from yourself, it's been your first time in Ironman. We'll love to have you back again. You sounded like you had a good time. Did you?
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. I didn't really conceal my emotions or particular stance on it very well, but my God, that was an incredible introduction. That was only the sample as well of Ironman. That's unbelievable. For a first race, I'm over the moon with it. We had battles left, right, and center, different strategies coming into play. That's exactly what we wanted to see with the all dry conditions. Lots of opportunistic, maybe slightly optimistic overtakes at times, but we all had fun, and it's been a pleasure to do this alongside you two tonight.
Amazing. And just from me, guys, so this season I've tried to upgrade the broadcast for WR Ironman, just give you a little bit of a cooler experience. I won't be here for the finale, unfortunately. That will be me done for the season. I really hope you have enjoyed the time and effort that's been put in to just try and get us up to the next level, get into some of these drivers' mindsets and get that sort of thing. It's been an honor, a privilege. I hope the finale is absolutely banging, and I'll see you next season when Ironman comes back, whenever that is to be. So for me, Carl, and Josh, all I can say once again, for everyone that's still watching, yous are the OGs, and we appreciate that very, very much. Have a banging rest of your night, and we'll see you next time. All right, take care. Adios.